here. It's big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen and I'm joined by the poker babe Shirley Rosario, and tonight, Shirley, we are going to be doing a $300 to $500 restricted buy-in no limit hold'em game.
Right.
The blinds are 5 and 5. So the game plays, it's our biggest restricted buy-in no limit game. And we've got some usual characters on the table from our big game. So without further ado, let's get to the action.
I'll introduce the players. In seat number 1, we have Francois Norpetlian. In seat number 2, we have Erwin Mazariegos. In seat 3, we have Kyle Dunnigan. In seat 4, we have Justin McKinley. Seat 5, we have Brian Campbell. Seat 6 is going to be Craig Wong. 7, Bobby Espinada. Seat 8, Eric Magyar. And seat 9, Barry Woods. We're very familiar with Barry Woods there.
Pocket deuce is no good.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so here we go.
Somebody's got to do it, might as well be you.
So, yellow chips are $5 chips, blinds are 5 and 5, and the blue chips are $1 chips, and if you see purples, they're 25s, and the whites are $100 chips. Of course, players will usually stack their chips in a 20-chip denomination, so a stack of yellows is 100, a stack of purples is 500. So we got the myth, the legend there in seat 9, Barry Woods. He looks to have, about 600 in front of him. This game's been going for a while. They just moved it over.
Right.
And we got some new faces on the table.
Or oh goody.
And we're going to get into the first hand of the night here. Pot has been limped around. Deuce, 5-4, couple of hearts. I think seat 8 is in the hand. We're going to need to get him to put his cards on over the camera. Now, Bobby, boy, he's got a straight draw and the nut flush draw there. Can catch a 3, a heart.
I have open-ended.
I don't know if anyone's going to call here. Francois says he's open-ended, and he's true, but he's not going to call.
Wow, you got a monster.
And it looks like Bobby's going to take down the first hand of the night.
Rabbit hunting for the camera.
Of course, if you want to follow a live thread that started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com spelled out. Click on Forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. The official Live at the Bike thread for October 4th. You can also email us at liveatthebike.com. Now, this game, or this structure, I think it's been going on here at the casino for 4, 5, 6 months, something like that.
Around there.
It's the newest game that's
Yes.
been set up here on the plaza. It used to play kind of tight with a lot of players from the 200 game moving up, but now sometimes it's the most action in the entire casino.
Yeah, it's your favorite game.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely. It starts you off with the bet. I mean, you get 100 times the big blind if you want to buy in for the maximum, so it gives you the most
play.
to work with in the beginning. And we are going to see a limped pot once again. 5-way action. King 7-5, a couple of diamonds. Barry's got bottom 2 pair. And seat 4, he's got a pair of 7s and a flush draw. Erwin in seat 2's got top pair. Now let's see what Barry does here. There's a bet by seat 4, and Barry is going to, looks like he's going to wisely raise to 50. Seat 1, he's got an open-ended straight. Well, I think he's got 4-6 of hearts. We have it as deuce 6, but he actually has 4-6 of hearts.
Right.
He mucks the open-ended straight draw. Boy, Justin's hand might be good enough to really almost come over the top here. Let's see what he does.
That's what I was thinking. Looks like he's just going to call.
No, he just calls. So we're heads up here. Justin against Barry Woods. Barry with the best hand. Turns a deuce. Let's see if Barry really pushes here. It gets checked to him. Pot's about $120.
He's
And
betting $100.
there you go. And you almost kind of back yourself into a corner here with 7-10 of diamonds by not really showing a lot of strength on the flop. He might not have the best hand now. Obviously, he doesn't. But he's got such a big draw. He's a lot of outs on the river. And now all the money has been committed in the pot. Look at that. He's going to muck it. Wow, that's a very tight play. Hi, look at that. It's James
There we
Woods.
go.
Boy, it would be a pleasure to get him to play in this game.
Nice bet, Harry.
He's one of these...
Amateurs on the table.
He's a good poker player, Shirley. One of the big celebrity poker players. Plays in a lot of tournaments, of course. The Big Poker October tournament series is going on here at the Bike. I think tonight was either a $200 or $300 limit.
Tonight, right, $200 limit hold'em.
$200 limit. And we were looking at the back of Card Player magazine here. Anybody who wants to open up this issue of Card Player magazine
I don't know if that's saying I was real
can
bad.
open up to the first story on the magazine. And look at that. It's live at the Bike under Inside Straight. Check it out. Feature on Live at the Bike. Getting bigger and bigger here, Live at the Bike. And James Woods, we're getting word that he wants to play in the game, Shirley.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. So we'd love to get him in the game. Pot was limped around here again. 8-7-5, couple of diamonds. Turns a 4.
It's very passive of Justin. He's checked top pair twice.
Yeah.
Let's see if he puts in a bet here.
Well, he's got trips on the river now.
Yeah, he does now.
And now he's going to bet. Remember, he was the guy that mucked the pair and the flush draw last hand. And he's going to take it down. So we're going to try to get James Woods to play over someone for now until the seat opens up, most likely.
Right.
And I'm sure we will get him into the game.
Some guy came here. Absolutely. Give it to James. Yeah. 10 minutes is up. Small blind today? Yes. Good for the casino.
No.
So a lot of early posturing. Hasn't been a lot of play yet. We've only seen a few hands.
But I gotta protect it somehow. I want to protect it against the rolls.
Looks like the button's in seat 3 here.
What's up?
It's Kyle. A couple of limpers.
Unbelievable. Go right ahead.
And Brian here on the big blind's going to check it. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot much out there.
No, but I mean, I'm wondering why King 10 didn't come in for a raise. I mean, if you're going to come into the pot
Yeah, he's in
in,
seat
you know,
8.
middle to early position,
The flop is
I would come in raising.
well, the flop is Queen Jack 8 now, and it gets checked around. So King 10 checks the open-ended straight draw that turns a 6.
One more card and I'll have it.
Yeah,
I've got 5 with
and
straight.
now seat number 4. Justin's going to bet on the 6. Seat 8 just calls.
Yeah.
No.
Barry calls. And seat 1 there, Francois, he's going to raise. He's got a pair.
There's
He's got a
pair
pair
and
and
a
a
gut shot.
Yeah, pair and a straight draw. And he raises it up. He's going to bet 70, or raise 70 straight here.
He gets 70 more.
Yeah. Now that's Eric in seat 8. And he gets rid of the open-ended straight draw. And Barry just has a pair there.
That's my money.
And he's going to get rid of it as well. There you go. Francois actually had the best hand.
Yes, he did.
He had the best hand. He raised with the best hand. and he took it down. I think
The
that Francois.
rabbit cam showed an ace. It showed that Seat 8 made the straight.
I think that Francois is a dealer on the blackjack section here at
Okay.
the bike. But he plays in a lot of no-limit games. We've seen him.
He was in the game with
He was one of the
the-
gay undertone boys.
right. Well, right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Who's inside? Is the guy? Is he the
Gay undertone Mike and Francois.
Never.
Who's commentary?
And seat 9 here is going to raise to 15. That's Barry. He's got a queen jack offsuit.
Who right? It's because it's you.
And seat 5, he calls. We're going to need to see his cards there. Ace 9 of hearts. So we're heads up. Ace 9 of hearts against queen jack.
I'm on a drawing hand.
And the flop comes king 7-4 with a couple of diamonds.
Four-fifths of the way there.
And Barry's going to continue to bet here. And he's going to take it down.
Okay, let's do 25. Tell me what the limit is here.
10.
10?
10 would have kept me in for one more.
Well, then I'm glad I missed 30. I'll keep these for next time.
This card was too black to hit.
One more out of it.
We're trying to get word. I think that James Woods is going to be coming into the game now, Shirley.
She's gonna be jealous. She's gonna be jealous. She's gonna be like, I want to go too.
Yeah. Poker's all fun. You get massages, you eat ice cream.
Yeah, and I think that's confirmation. He's going to be coming into the game, so we're going to have a treat tonight, an unexpected treat. I think he might have come down for the tournament and if he did, he got knocked out early in a limit tournament.
Well, the tournament started at 4:15,
Right.
so that's pretty early in a limit
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
And the Poker October tournaments are great because you get 10 times the amount of your buy-in.
Oh, really?
So when I played the Omaha on Friday, it was a $200 buy-in. We got 2,000 starting chips.
Great.
Yeah, it was nice. Only half-hour rounds, but I still felt like we got a lot of play, you know.
King 7-6 here on the flop. Pot was checked around.
I think
Checked around on the flop. Turns at 10.
Yeah, the king had
And Eric's got the best hand here with the 10. He's going to bet. It's like 15. And he's going to take it down. He shows the 10. And I think that he's coming into the game, Mr. James Woods in
That would
seat
be
6.
seat 6.
Yeah. So this will be a treat.
I think he was not. So what happened to that? Is that a seat change? I want to go there. That's why. I want to go there. I want to go there.
Ah, Francois. He's always causing problems.
Is he? I've only seen him play one time, and he was just high-fiving Mike.
So there he is, James Woods in seat 6, coming into the game.
All right, come on there, Francois, buddy.
And did he post here? Yep, he's posted. He's picked up a jack 3 of clubs, and he's checked it. And we got three-way action here. $15 pot. 7-6-4. Gets checked around. The turn is another 6.
First one didn't help me, the second definitely did.
It's still the same card. King.
Wow, the river's king, and no one has anything here. Looks like Eric is good. Ace high. Barry's going to try to steal it here with 8-3. Bets 15. It looks like he's going to buy the pot here, Shirley. And he does. And he shows the bluff. Shows the bluff. There you go. Mr. Barry Woods, live the bike favorite.
Third guy, fourth guy stays in with pocket deuces, and it's a deuce in the flop. So he's got the not quite, but he's got enough. I mean, he's got a gambling stand, and of course makes quads on the river. You think he was happy with me? The lines were $25.50. He made $3,300 on the hand.
I think James Woods is telling a little story about how he got knocked out of the tournament.
I guess he's gonna win the tournament this game. He's just lucky.
Well, it's always an advantage of being in Los Angeles. You can have movie stars come down and play in your game.
Yeah, really.
As always.
The word once enough you play tight or
A river flood. I mean, but I mean, 19% to, after a couple of sets.
tell me
And
guys.
Eric's going to raise here. In position, he's got a Jack 10 off suit. He makes it 20 to go. And look at that, Barry mucks the King 10 of clubs.
I thought it was King 9.
I bet 65. Builder.
Could have been King 9.
I bet 200.
Here we go. 6-5 deuce.
Wow.
Bobby's flopped a straight there in seat 7. And he's going to bet. Oh, excuse me. Francois bets with the open-ended straight draw right in there. And Bobby just smooth calls with the straight. Eric is out of there. And Francois obviously has outs. Turn is a 6.
300, 600.
Francois checks, and Bobby's going to bet here. Looks like he bets 30, and Francois quickly calls.
Like a 2-4 limit game, James.
And the river's a queen, and that's no help for Francois.
Go away straight. What's the nuts? You got no nuts.
You got the nuts, huh?
And it looks like Bobby bet here.
The nuts.
That's not the nuts.
I got it, man. Go away.
And he took it down. And I think he showed the straight.
Yeah. He's talking about the nuts. Not quite the nuts there, but
No, not on a paired board.
right.
No.
Only 7. I didn't bet a lot.
No one has a full house. You have the nuts.
Yep. Rack in those yellow chips.
You got to open it.
Yeah, but I was not gonna, even if I got you, I was not gonna bet. Did you have to bet? Why? So I take my money.
So it looks like the Red Sox got a shellacking today. And again, I want to please ask all the loyal viewers out there to keep my sanity and not mention the score tomorrow, because I only get to watch the first hour and a half. Before I come in here and TiVo the rest, run home, try not to listen to the score.
And then you go home and watch the rest of the game?
Yeah,
Okay.
commercial free, I might add. Barry is going to raise here. He's going to make it 20 to go. He's got King Jack off suit.
Look at that. Oh, you and that got too much respect.
He picks it up.
Yeah, nobody calls. So we got Barry Woods and James Woods on the table. And look at that.
Is it James Woods or James Wood?
James Woods.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's his real life name.
Well,
but
yeah, no,
that's
I
the
mean
name he
his,
uses.
right.
Yeah. Look at this. Russ McGinley on 2+2 is put something out there. He says Barry Woods is the best player on the table. Him and Barry Woods actually were going head to head on the post board last night.
Really?
Because Barry was home watching the show.
Uh-huh.
And I think Barry took some of the words that Russ put out there a little personally last week about his play.
Yeah, he mentioned something about one of the players calling him weak tight. Was that Russ that called him weak tight?
I don't know. I don't know if you would call Barry weak tight. I mean, there are criticisms of his game. I don't know if I'd call him weak tight.
I don't think I would categorize it as that neither.
Pot was limped around here. King Queen 4 on the flop.
I don't see him play as much as you do.
Yeah. Justin has bet here 15.
Which one are you? Are you on the first one or you have King Queen?
And Bobby quickly mucks the top pair. Justin bets on King Deuce. Looks like he's going to take it down.
What's the biggest bet so far? 75?
Well, I think that always the discussion about Barry Woods' play is how can he make some of these gigantic calls.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you got to look at the guy, and he goes and he studies Live at the Bike. He's a subscriber to the archives. He knows what people are doing. He knows what kind of styles people are at. I mean, the only real hiccup that he made when he made the big call was against Kenna James. He was behind and he got sucked out.
Right.
But some of the other big calls he's made, he was good with
right.
like one pair.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, even if it's not top pair, people were like, well, how do you make a $5,000 call?
Well, you make that call if you know your hand's good, or
Yeah,
you're pretty certain your hand's good.
I guess so. Now, Bobby in seat 7 is going to race here at 15 with Ace Jack of Hearts. Barry Woods called with a King 7 of Spades. Three-way action. Here we go. 7-6 deuce. Look at this James Woods flop top 2 pair.
Barry flops in a top pair in the flush draw.
And he bets 40, yeah, and these two could really go head-to-head here. What does Barry do here? Barry just calls with the king 7 of spades. Two pretty big hands here. Oh, the turn's a 6, and James Woods fills up, and he checks the full house.
Put it 7, let her have
And Barry checks right behind him. And the river is an ace, so Barry took the card, and James is going to bet here. He bets 100, and Barry mucks.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
well.
mean, you say Barry Woods has got poker instincts there. I mean, he didn't show, I mean, he had a monster hand on the flop. And he didn't show a lot of aggression, really. Called James Woods' bet. James actually checked the turn, trying to give him a free card for the flush. And obviously Barry did not get there. Nice hand there in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You can give almost sort of a rebate. Sort of like on HollywoodSculpture.com. Great rebate. Great rebate.
I have an ace king here.
Yeah, seat number 5.
Can we get it set up?
Set up. Stop it.
So it looks like we only have 3 players in the hand so far. Seat 5 with ace king is raising out of the blind. It's raising 35.
And yeah, we had a couple of...
A6 months, A7
Yeah,
months.
there you go. He's going to take it down there. You know, I heard stories about James Woods. He played a lot on the internet or something about how he once had 20... I don't remember where I read this, but he said that he started on a $200 restricted table. And he basically played every single day and only lost like once or twice. And he's
Wow.
very, very tight and very controlled. And obviously he's a good poker player, so it's really great to see him in a cash game here.
That's a pretty impressive record.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
As long as on that one day he didn't lose his whole
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
whole winnings.
Yeah.
And the guy stayed in to the felt on a gut shot straight and hit it. For the felt. That was late at night? I was kind of like rock, not like this. I was kind of like, hey, well, I would like to watch this. I play a hand once every 4 minutes. So I lose like, right next thing I have pocket queen, Scott Russell, king nine off, six spikes again, and flop. I knew he did, so I survived it. And then I flopped a full house and lose the bigger four. Set, pocket queen,
He was on
full
your
house.
table for a long time, though, that day, wasn't he? That wasn't the same table.
Yeah, the whole day.
So he was there with you the whole time.
And by the way, he never won.
Button is in seat 4. Big blind is in seat 6. And the Angels and the Yankees are playing tonight. Fortunately, you know, it's such a different environment for me coming from the East Coast to come out here to Southern California. It's,
How about that? You know what the odds are there?
no one really cares about sports out here like they do in New York and Boston. I guess maybe because
I
there's
think
other
they
things
care
to
about
do.
it. Maybe
No,
not as much.
Not like the East
diehards
Coast.
East
Yeah,
Coast.
not
but-
diehard.
yeah.
Just kind of. I mean, LA hasn't had an NFL team here for what, 10 years now?
Has it been that long? Wow.
Yeah. Seat 8 is going to bring it in for a raise here to 30, and James Woods looks like he's got pocket 10s in the big blind. And Eric is raised with ace queen, and wow, Brian's got king jack of clubs. Let's see how Jimmy Woods plays this. He's just going to smooth call. And look at all those overcards he's going to have to dodge.
So three-way, yeah.
Yeah.
He has to dodge them all.
Yeah. And here we go to the flop. It's about a $90 pot 3 ways. Ace 9-7. Eric's hit the top pair. Now that's only one overcard to the 10s, but it's the premier overcard.
It's the one that you don't want to see
Right.
when you have tens.
And Eric's going to bet here. That's 40 into $90 pot, and both players quickly muck. And Eric takes it down there with the ace queen. There you go. I don't know. You know, I kind of was I've been out of the entertainment, you know, I used to be really into movies, really into the LA business scene. Been kind of out of it for a while, for the last year and a half. I can't even think off the top of my head what was the last movie James Woods did that's been released. I'm sure someone will quickly pick up on that.
Right. The only one I can think of is Ghost of Mississippi, but that was forever ago.
Oh no, that was.
Well, I know
eons
that's
ago.
Well, I know that's not the most recent. I'm just saying that's the one I can think of him doing.
Couple limpers here again. And this is going to get limped around here. Maybe 6 ways. 10, 3, 5, couple clubs. And we got a set of 5s there for Bobby, and he's going to bet right out to it. He's going to bet 25 with his set of 5s. Again, the flop is 10, 3, 5, couple clubs. And look at this. Francois, he's got top pair. He's going to raise with the ace-10. He makes it 80 more, and boy, you love that if you bet right into a set with the set. Let's see what Bobby does. So he's raised it up, and it looks like... But did Bobby just call here?
I don't...
Yeah, I think he's just called. So we're heads up, pocket 5s against ace-10. The turn is a jack. It's a third club.
What is going on? Did they agree
And it went
not to
check,
make any
check, and
betting?
the river's a 6. I think that Bobby and Francois are friends, because I think that's what happened with the straight.
Yeah, well, because I saw them
couple hands
talking,
before.
and
Yeah. Obviously, you
There
wouldn't
was
just,
no-
you
you
wouldn't just kind of check it down with a set of 5s there.
no, especially when a club comes.
No. So I think the two of them are friends, and they just kind of agreed to check it down. And I think they're talking about it now. You can do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, but there was other people in the hand. I don't like when it goes bet and then he raises, the other people fold, and then they agree to check it
Yeah.
down. If it was just the two of them, that's one thing. But when Francois raised and got the other opponents out and then they check it down,
Well, then you
It's-
definitely
it's
would
not-
want to see both players' hands.
Right.
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem ethical to me.
Yeah.
Um,
That's when you say
It doesn't
you say you
seem
don't
like
like
it, but,
you don't like to ask for people's hands, but there are certain situations where actually that rule can be brought into the game.
Right.
But that's why it's there.
that's why it's
Yeah.
there. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, you can see some sketchy things happen, and that's why it's that's why it's there. James Woods is going to raise here. He's going to make it 25 to go on the button. He's got ace deuce offsuit. Francois is going to call him with ace 4 of spades from up front. Irwin has mucked the king-queen, and it looks like we're going to be heads up. Now, chances are an ace is not going to fall here, and James should bet it and take it down. About a $50 pot. Wow, what a flop. And Francois got the nut flush draw, queen, deuce, deuce.
He bets out.
He's going to bet 15. And let's see what James does here. He's going to raise it up immediately, Shirley, heads up with the trips.
Yeah, if you're going to play ace deuce, you want to do that.
And how much has he
He's even
raised
guilty
here?
of playing those ace rounds.
He makes it 100 more. Wow. And look at this. Francois is going to come over the top all in. And James Woods quickly calls with the ace deuce. The turn is a jack. Francois needs a spade here. And the river's an 8. And Jimmy Woods takes it all with trip deuces. I say, and there are certain times when you can slow play when a guy bets into you, queen, deuce, deuce. He bets into you and you just call. It seems just kind of fishy to me anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I like to pass play. That's my style. And look at that. I mean, that's probably one of the few instances where we would actually see somebody raise there. And there's different ways to play it. He was in position. You might want to let the guy keep betting into you, but hey, why not? He raised,
Right.
and he got paid off all the way
Right.
with ace deuce. Incredible. Welcome to the table, Jimmy Woods.
All in, don't you?
Francois is going to buy 300 more for the minimum. I mean, what would you have done in that spot with ace deuce?
I like the race. I really like the race, especially with the two spades out there. You figure that Francois is is going to call with the flush draw, considering his chip stack.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have any piece of that board, he would muck. But you weren't going to get any action on the turn of the river anyways. So get it there when you can.
I would not ordinarily call it.
Oh, seat 1 raised here. That's Francois. Pocket kings. And James Woods has got pocket 9s. And we got a few callers. Barry Woods is in there with a suited connector. We've got a $120 pot brewing. Kings, 9s, king 10, and 10-9 suited. Wow, 3-5-7. Barry's got a flush draw. And you would think that Francois is going to bet pretty big here. He bets about the size of the pot, 125, and is James Woods going to get in trouble? He's got an overpair to this board. This is going to be an interesting hand. And remember, Francois just lost the last hand, so people might think he's steaming.
Right.
Now, James has to contend with Barry behind him as well. Does he want to get involved here with the pocket 9s?
Get the phone call. Let's see if it's anybody. I got a nice pair. I got a nice overpair.
And is he going to get involved? Francois has bet here. And what is Barry going to do behind Francois? Wow. James Woods makes a nice lay down there with the pocket 9s. Great lay down.
Oh, here, I'll turn it on.
And now the action's back over to Barry, who's got a spade draw.
Oh, I see, okay.
What is he going to do? He's going to make the... Oh, I think he's going to raise here. Barry has raised, and you know what? Francois only bought in for $300 before this hand. He's committed.
Yes, he is.
I'm sure he's going to go all in. Francois moves all in. Or Barry has moved all in. Regardless, all the money's going in here. We're looking at a $700 or $800 pot here. And Francois actually had 200 more white chips. So he had 500 there. So we're talking about a $1,200 pot, I want to say.
So they'll pull in the original bets, and we'll see how much more it is. But I'm sure Barry's committed now.
Yeah.
It looks like... looks like almost $200 more, but not quite $200.
How about I make a deal with you? I give you 100 back and you give me the pot.
Well, yeah. Oh,
it is.
Okay,
200.
it is 200. We thought that there were 2 whites there, so maybe it's about an $800 pot there.
No.
Yeah, the whites got pulled into the pot.
And good thing James Woods didn't get involved here, huh?
Right.
With the pocket 9s. Boy, was he in trouble.
Barry should make this call now that he's committed that many chips out there. I mean, there's $600 in that one pot, plus the 200.
It's 200 more. Barry check raised him.
Right.
And Francois moved all in for another 200.
Stupid call, and when everybody understands.
Well, Barry says it's a stupid call, but the thing is,
I don't
he's
think
getting,
so.
He's getting like 4-1 on his money, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the pot's 600, and he's going to make the call.
Plus the 200 that in front of him.
Even if the guy has an overpair. So here we go with about a $1,200 pot. The turn is a queen.
Give me a spade.
Oh, the river's a 7, and Francois is going to take it with the kings. And that's good. And again, James Woods must be happy that he laid that hand down. He's been playing pretty well.
Money back, money back, money back.
Francois gets up and does a dance.
It was a good laydown. 3 times. It was a good laydown.
Yeah, I would have.
I was hoping you'll push.
There you go. A couple big hands right off the bat. Nothing like picking up a big hand after when people think that you're steaming, right? Yeah.
What happened?
So, yeah, a check raise by Barry Woods. And then, Francois moves all in, but it's only for another 200. There's already about 600. I think actually there was 800 in the pot or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, he's getting...
It was more than 800.
So he's definitely getting the odds call there. I mean, obviously, even if he knows the guy's on an overpair. He actually has straight possibilities as well, like with running straight possibilities.
No, I knew you had a big hand. But I was on the draw, and if I hit it, which I had close odds. 6-1, half dozen the other.
So there you go.
Is that a raise? A live straddle?
But the flush has not
So
been hitting.
the button is in seat 8. Big blind is in seat number 1.
Well, it's not fair for him. Go ahead.
No chance right now.
It is if you're getting, but it's all on what you get.
So seat 2 is made at $10.
No.
Yeah, seat 1 showing the king.
He's showing the king.
Uh-huh.
Look at
No
that.
for my bad place.
What you said? No from your dad.
No, he said
No,
bet.
no, I'm no for my bad place.
Oh, I think you said a
I'm
note
live at
from
the-
your dad.
No, no,
Play. I
no.
said, what exactly does
My
that
dad has Parkinson's. He had trouble writing or understanding what the hell he was
And there you go. He's going to take it down here.
Don't get too frisky over there, Chip Stack.
I'm taking it all back. Just know that.
I'm a donator.
Those
you
are
know.
just on loan to you for a while.
Thank you, sir.
And we're going to take a look at another chip count.
Bobby there with the lead at $690.
Ace deuce.
We have Eric $630. Barry is at $600. He was he just did a rebuy, and Irwin bringing up the rear with $180. James Wood with $400.
I didn't want to queen when he raised me right away. I didn't think it was. I'm like, an ace come, I still win.
Make it 20.
Ace, he
Then
feels.
we have a raise to 20 by seat 3 with pocket 7s. Gets called by seat 8, suited ace.
Shit, I'm
Barry calls pocket 5s.
all this trouble. I'm only winning it.
We have 3-way action.
Remember, I bought it?
Yep, we're going to see it.
$70 pot.
3 ways. King 9-5.
That gives Barry a set.
Yep. Bottom set there. A lot of clubs on board. You probably want to put some money in
Put
here in
some,
position.
yeah.
And he bets 100.
Did you get playing the tournament in there?
Sorry?
Did you get playing that tournament in there just now?
Yeah. That was the one.
And I don't think anyone can call him here. There you go.
He showed 1-5.
Yep. And he takes it down.
I was in the worst position. I thought 15 high flush, and I'm thinking, of course, somebody got
Seat 1's now up to $1,000. That's Francois.
Well, he doubled through there.
Right.
Especially in limit. It's so easy to rebound from a fat beat.
And then there's a king of spades on the turn. So now I
Doubled
got
through.
And I thought the second one, not flush.
But you have to think,
I
because,
was already back in my bags.
because he flopped 3 deuces, he's not going to get out him too.
But now is in seat number 1. Pocket kings for seat 7. That's Bobby.
I mean, he's almost got the implied odds.
Raise, make it 30.
And we're going to see a raise here. It's at $30.
And that's it.
Yep, he's not going to get any action with the kings. Yeah, James Woods is playing a pretty solid form of poker right now.
Right.
And like I said, some of the stories that I heard about him seems to be pretty consistent.
17 money river, I thought you had 7. I'm like, I'm dead.
I mean, a lot of people, don't necessarily get away from pocket 9s. But with another guy behind you,
With the underpair, with the undercards.
yeah, with an undercards, I mean, he does have an overpair to the board, but
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of overpairs that obviously can beat you.
No, the odds are, well,
But, you know, so I
well,
said
yeah,
opportunity.
well, no, the odds are always the same, except the odds in the long run for
Oh, my brother is here.
that you have that many fewer cars.
No bet me.
Ace king offsuit here for Barry. He's got big slick.
I just got one.
And let's see how what Barry does with the big slick. He's in mid position. He's going to raise it up.
30.
Makes it 30 to go.
They belong in the muck already.
Brian's here, I get good cars.
Really quick.
I said out loud.
Come
on.
And wow, we haven't seen boy, it's
Yeah.
kind of a tight table so far.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
You want to show the camera too?
Absolutely.
You already moved it?
And now Barry Woods, obviously, he rebought for the maximum, which was 500. It's one of the few times that we've seen him lose a hand on Live at the Pike. Guy seems to run pretty hot here on the show.
That's right.
Button's going to come in for a little raise. He's got $15 raise there. Can't quite see what he has over there in seat 3. And James Woods is called with king 7. C3's got an ace 10, and the flop comes queen deuce 7. James is going to bet here with king 7, and I think the button bets and James calls.
He called, right.
Turn is a 6. Again, we are ace 10 against king 7, and the river's an 8. And James checks again.
But he made a quick call. That's when he knew his second pair was.
Well, he said he put him on. He said he put him on ace jack, and he had ace 10. So checked it down there on the river. And I don't mind the check there by James. I usually play it that way too. Sometimes if I think I have the best hand, that's not.
Well, if you really think he has ace jack, you know that if you put in a bet, you're not getting a call.
Right, but you just gotta be prepared to make the call.
Right.
On the river.
Right.
From up front. It's kind of that, it's almost like you're checking to induce a bluff if you think you have the best hand.
And then if they do it, even if they stick out a big amount of chips, you've got to go for it.
Yeah, you got to make the call if you think your hand is good, obviously.
Right.
Okay, $5.
There, Barry goes with playing those ace rags.
Ace rag, yeah.
Oh, come on.
And Bobby's going to raise here, I think out of the blind.
Right, with king 10 of hearts.
Yep, 15 more. Now is Barry going to get involved? Barry calls.
And he calls.
Wow, and James Woods is in there with ace rag, looks like in the small blind. So three-way action. Nice flop for Bobby. He's picked up a flush draw, jack 5-6. Bobby's going to bet. And James Woods and Barry Woods both muck.
Right.
Bobby takes it down.
That's why you bet him, that's why I folded.
And there you go.
At that point, I had you beat.
I think that we saw Bobby has actually been on the show, I think, before, like way back when.
Yeah. I remember him.
Way back when. Seems like a pretty tight, solid player.
Big blind. Before you look until you. Huh? Before you look and get rid of it.
You're right on the card.
What?
You're right
$35 raise here by Barry. He's got pocket nines. We got some big hands here. C2's going to call with ace king of hearts, and Kyle, when C3's got pocket sevens, he makes the call. So looks like we're going to see this hand about $110. Pocket nines, ace king, and pocket sevens. Barry's the original raiser, out of position. Ace 6-10, couple diamonds. And it looks like Barry's going to fire. He's going to bet 100.
110. All in.
And the ace king's going to move all in for 110.
$10 more dollars.
And Barry
He has to
calls
call.
for the $10 extra. Pocket sevens quickly muck.
Oh, man, I had an ace 6. I'm not getting that. Ace of diamonds, 6 of hearts.
Now here we go. Turns a jack.
6 of hearts. Ace of diamonds.
And the river is a jack, and ace king is good here.
You want to run it 6 times?
Yeah.
Erwin doubles through.
Barry asked to run it 6 times. He needs about that many times to hit his hand.
Aces, jacks, and king.
I mean, I'll take it if I was Barry Woods and lose these small pots when I win the big ones in the 10-20. No limit, obviously.
Yeah, because he normally plays a bigger game.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Small blind.
Unsuited
Hey,
one.
Doyle said you should play the unsuited ones. So you don't have, I mean, TJ was saying you should play them sometimes so you don't get tempted to play the flush.
Buttons over there in seat number 7. Got a lot of tighty-whities at the table here. Doesn't look like there's much out there. Seat 5's got a Brian. He's got Queen Jack.
It's not 30, Barry.
Makes it 25 to go.
25. You should that's a
Now Barry has
call.
ace rag in the blind. Ace 5.
I don't
Tough
like
hand
it.
to play out of position.
I was just thinking, he only has $5 invested. Why bother?
Barry, I'll show them to you. I got them on.
And he's going to get rid of
There
it.
you go.
It's a classic case of what you say. It's if you hit your hand when you play ace rag, especially out of position, you're either going to win a small pot or lose a big one.
Right.
It's almost like, heads I win, tails you lose. It's
Right.
really not a great proposition when you think about
Right.
it. It's unless you get lucky and hit 2 pair. You know what I mean? That's about it.
Right.
The only thing I guess you might be looking to get is, something like ace 5 rag and someone's got ace king. But still, even then, are you going to get paid off that much? I guess it depends
And
on the player.
why even do that to
Yeah.
try to hit 2 pair? More.
Right.
I like all these limpers in behind me.
So it's been straddled here. Looks
Yeah.
like
Irwin in
everyone
C2.
calls and the other button puts out a raise.
Yep.
Jack 7 of spades.
It's going to make it 30 to go. And with that many limpers, I don't mind to try to steal the limps, but I don't know if 30's going to
30's
do it.
it doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Brian to work too hard.
So a call, and a call for $10. Button raises to 30. Straddler gets rid of it. Brian's got ace rag suited. He's going to call. James Woods, he's got a trouble hand there, queen 10. And he's going to get away from it. There you go.
3 players.
Bobby's in there with Jack 10.
Too big of a block party there.
So we got about $110 pot to the flop. Wow, Bobby's flopped a straight.
I'll go first, Zach. I'll let you go.
Queen 9-8. Bobby checks it. Checks the straight. So the action is over to Eric on the button.
I know I saw them before, they're different now.
And he's going to bet. Pot's about $110.
That's 45.
That's 45 here. Now, Brian has a gut shot as well as Eric, and Brian makes a call. Well, now if you're Bobby, with this type of board, wouldn't you put in a pretty
I
hefty
would,
raise?
yes. Like 140?
Well, he's going to raise
He
it.
only makes it 100.
He makes it 100.
Only a million
That's
more.
55 more.
She's 55 more.
So 55 more. So the pot's about $300 now. 55 for Eric to call. And the funny thing is, if the 10 comes here for these guys with the 7s, it's no good. Do they realize that?
Well, if the 10 comes, Eric has the same straight as Bobby, which he does
The
now.
turn is an 8.
100.
No, what I'm saying, well, yeah, excuse
has
me,
the
Jack.
same-
Yeah, because
same
Eric
hand.
had the Jack 7.
Oh,
Wow. Look at this. Bobby bets, and Bobby's on a free roll.
What do you got?
He bets, and Eric goes over the top of him all in with Jack 7.
Diamond drop.
But Bobby's got a free roll here.
Booyah.
Ooh, the river's a 5. Chop it up, folks. You're right. Eric with the Jack 7 has the same straight, but the guy in between had ace 7.
Right.
That's what I was
It
looking
wasn't
at.
good. Mhm.
And the 10 comes. It's not good.
right.
Not good.
Go enjoy my 50.
And I'm sure he was probably kicking himself because the 10 came right off there.
But the 10,
straight.
but the 10 doesn't give him a straight party.
Well, the ace 7.
It doesn't give A7 a straight.
That's right. It gives him an open end. I'm sorry. He had a gut shot. Well, why did he call there on the flop then? I'm confused.
Because you can't make sense of what everybody does.
Ace 7 with 8-9
He
queen.
was calling for a backdoor hard draw.
Okay, that's what's confused me
Or
here a little bit.
backdoor flush.
Yeah, the 7 wasn't even a gut shot straight.
You're supposed to be correcting me on the straight, not the other way around.
Well, that was a strange one.
It was just a tough call. He put me on nothing, that's why he raised it.
So chop it up anyways, but that was a nice free roll for Bobby to have there.
Yeah.
That's the reason you raised it. I mean, how can you raise me if you know I had a hand? You would chase it by just calling, but not raise it. Am I right?
He was trying to
You
push
thought you
My purpose in life is to confuse people,
it worked.
and I think I'm doing it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Hey, that's my birthday. Okay, that's my birthday. Whatever you guys are seeing right now is my
The
birthday.
only one that has a reasonable hand here is Barry. He has ace jack on the
I
button.
always call with my birthday.
And he's going to pop it up.
He raises to 30.
Makes it 30 to go
I gotta
here.
donate for you.
Francois calls quickly.
Quickly, we can't see what he has over there in seat 1.
Give me my flop and all your shit's fine.
What's your cards in
Not it, let's go.
Flop, king.
Check, I have
King 8-5 here, rainbow. Francois got 8 deuce of spades. He's hit the flop. He's actually out-flopped Barry.
Yes.
Barry bets. Looks like $50. What is Francois doing calling there in the small
I don't
blind
know.
with
And then he
8
hits
deuce of
an 8, and
spades?
then he's just.
Yeah, King 8-5 on the flop.
more than 88.
Although you don't really want to hit an 8 with a king out there, but
What are you trying to hit with that
I
hand?
don't know. Deuce, deuce.
Well, James Woods did earlier, right?
Only 450.
It looked like the turn was an 8.
Yeah, 8 on the. We can
8
see
on
the
the
rabbit
turn,
cam.
mhm.
Wow, what a card that would have been. Of course, I mean Barry's probably not going to fire again.
No.
You know, that's
No.
the thing. It's just one of those things. So again, when you're watching live at the bike, we want to welcome everyone for the first time that's learned about the show from Card Player Magazine. You can follow a live thread started on the internet by going to 2plus2.com in the forum section, the World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments. Live the Bike official thread for October 4th.
I checked them, they suck, dude.
You can also email us at live@thebike.com.
Can you give me yellow?
And Justin is going to raise here with the ace-jack of spades. Makes it 15 to go. Barry calls. He's got 5-6 offsuit. And the small blind is in there with, looks like, 8-4 offsuit. The big blind is in there as well. Big blind's got 4-5 offsuit. King, queen, 8. Funny thing here is 8-4 in the small blind is the best hand right now. And it gets checked around. Turns a 10. That gives Justin the straight. He's got the nut straight. Third club on the turn. He bets 30. 10 of clubs here on the turn. And he's going to take it down there. There you go. Justin takes it down. Lucky turn card. Didn't fire there on the flop, surely. Got lucky on the turn.
Right.
As it goes.
Big one. I saw them in the distance.
Oh, yeah. Pocket tens for Barry.
Yeah. Barry Woods.
And a bunch of garbage for everybody else.
Let's see what Barry Woods does here.
Okay, it's been called by seat 7.
Red and a black 10.
Let's make it
25.
He's going to make it 25 to go with pocket tens.
Yeah, there's one on each side of that. Somewhere about that.
Yeah, I hate to have you call and mess up your little stack there. Mr. OCD.
Hey, I told you I gave you $100 back, don't call. Why you playing? I'm not talking a lot of...
And he's going to get the limper in front of him to call.
Two players.
So heads up here, Jack 7 of hearts against pocket tens. Oh, wow. Queen 10, Jack. Barry's hit bottom set, and he's checked it in position, surely. That's a dangerous free card.
Yeah.
Turns a 4.
30.
And Bobby's going to bet here. He's going to bet 30.
100.
Barry raises here. Raises to 100.
All in. Call.
Oh, my goodness. Bobby's moved all in over the top,
Wow,
and Barry
Barry
quickly
calls.
calls. And the river is a deuce. I was going to say, I mean, to me, that check there in position is almost suicide. It lets an extremely dangerous card come off on the turn.
Well, he was lucky that Bobby had, only had Jack 7.
And he
But
went over the
normally
top
when you
of
make
him.
a raise,
Yeah.
somebody that's in the pot with you is going to have cards that are coordinated with that board, meaning
Yeah.
that someone might have a king or an
Wow.
ace for a gut shot and you're just giving them the free card.
What? And Bobby
I
came
don't like
right
that
over.
check.
I mean, Bobby came over the top of him all in on the turn. Now,
Barry got really lucky
yeah,
that
I
Bobby
mean,
made that kind of play.
I think that Bobby was really trying to represent something big. Now, obviously, Barry's not going to let go of a set of tens, but I mean, we know Barry would even let go of aces in that spot. I don't know, but he made a very aggressive move there on the turn, Bobby, and yeah, Barry made a very, very tricky check there in position on the flop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if he announce it again right now, he's still with you. Would you have any idea what he said?
Incredible.
Okay, it's 20.
But I said before I looked at my card, I said I'm going to bluff under the gun. And I looked at my card, and I did it. I'm just going to let you know what happened.
Fine, I don't have a card, I won't call. That's why I am.
I'm not letting what I did.
He said the myth, the legend, Barry Woods.
See what I had. I can't remember. It was so bad, I can't remember what I had. I keep forgetting.
Just 20.
We got a raise here by James Woods. He's got Queen Jack. He's going to get called by Jack 10 of clubs and King Jack. And the flop comes Ace 10 6. Good flop for Kyle in
Yes,
seat
it
3.
is.
Pair and a flush draw. He's in position. And he bets 20. Brian's going to make a call here with a gut shot, backdoor clubs. James has the same gut shot. Well, not the same gut shot, but he's got a gut shot to the king.
Right. And he makes the
And he
call.
makes the call. He would need to catch a king that wasn't a club, and that's actually already out. 9 here on the turn.
Uh-oh. Say it ain't
And
so.
everyone
Reed
checks.
might kill him.
And the river is a 5. And Jack 10 is good here.
I got my hand.
But seat 5, Brian, he's going to come out and he's going to bet on a busted draw. James,
Looks like he's betting a lot, too. It's going to be really tough for Kyle to make a call here.
let's try to figure out some pot odds here. He's going to bet 75 here. I want to say that the pot is about 150, so he's betting. And look at that. Kyle just gets rid of it like it's nothing. Well, you know, it's almost a thing where, I mean, that hand is so good, you might even push it there more on the turn, you know? Interesting.
I wanted to look at the cards first if I was going to leave.
That's what I was afraid of.
Ruin my reputation. If I run out of there on that $5 bet, because that could happen.
Reputation?
An ace?
No. I still was beating you, though.
You lying.
No, I didn't. I did 10.
Okay.
It was a good
I
bet.
didn't even know you were here until that moment, so this is here. Okay.
45.
Have you been here all this time?
Yeah, he
Okay,
doubled
I'm
me up on
kidding. I'm
8K.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Gonna raise here by seat 2. He's gonna make it 45 to go. No one's gonna call.
He shows his hand.
45 is a big raise in this game,
Yeah,
huh?
it is.
Again, we're playing
I like
5-5
this guy.
blinds.
He's my ideal player.
There's your change. He is your idea.
You know, I like players that raise with hands like that. You know, if they raise like that with those kind of hands and their big hands, so you can't tell what they have. But I don't think seat 2 would make a huge raise like that with pocket kings or queens, ace king, ace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that you're kind of defeating the whole purpose by putting in that huge raise.
Yeah.
Because you're telling, you know, what you have. You're not disguising your hand.
Compulsive disorder.
Right, you're just a pain.
And for a gay guy, that's
For a gay guy, that's normal.
What is that? Can I talk shit to the player?
you were telling us that he was your partner, so yeah, I'm just assuming.
They're talking about
He's all over you, man.
Barry is talking about Francois. I think the night that Francois was on a couple weeks ago, he was calling that guy his partner, wasn't he? The guy that he was.
Was he?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I know they were giving each other high fives. And
You're the one who called.
Pot is limped here, and the flop comes 10, 10, 8.
You called me to give me a bad beat.
And James Woods, he bets here as a bluff with ace-6. Bobby's going to call with the flush
That's
draw.
not conversion. You know what that means?
Seat 8, he's got ace-jack. He calls.
No, I make a living at it.
I wonder why.
yeah.
And Justin is in there with a paired board and 2 clubs with an open-ended straight draw. The turn is a 3. James checks now. Now, if ace-jack called the flop, wouldn't he be setting up a move on the turn?
You
I
would
can't
hope
believe he
so.
didn't bet that. And the river is a king.
An ace-jack is good.
Can you believe that? Eric called with ace-jack on the flop, and his hand is good. Wow.
That's wrong.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
Where the hell do you get Chuck? Maybe it's Puerto Rico, that's a chop.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm wondering why.
I thought he was setting up a move there on the turn. Incredible.
It was not a chop spot.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
the cards were dealt.
Wow, that's amazing.
King, ace, jack. Exactly.
Absolutely amazing.
There's an 8 on the board.
Like I said, I don't mind necessarily trying to set up a move on the turn, but
I almost left it 2 seconds.
wow.
I always wanted
Well, anything ceases to amaze me here at Live at the
Yeah,
Bike.
that's for sure.
Now, really going to get him. Now I'm going to tighten up, boys.
I know I had the
Lay in
answer
the
to
weeds
this.
and crack everybody's the nuts. I mean, I don't mean
And James Woods here, he's got Jack 6 of spades on the button. Looks like the small blind's got an ace queen.
Gay guy with OCD.
Did you guys call me gay?
They're still talking about that.
I'm gay.
I think they're still talking about Francois'
Yeah,
partner
he's
over in
well,
seat
he-
1. My God.
Francois, they're talking. Yeah,
Show me one card. I'm gay.
Bobby
He
is-
said, "Did you call me gay?"
Bobby's raised here out of the small blind. He's got ace queen offsuit. He makes it 30. James Woods had limped in on the button. Francois in there with 7-5 of clubs. And Bobby's going to take down the limpers.
Peach chips, sir.
Who?
There you go.
Either one.
We have one little peach chip.
There is something right now. Right, Donna? He's in
Yeah,
something.
you know, did you obviously you worked at a different casino, Shirley, for years before the poker boom. James Woods really is kind of. Did you ever seen him over there before the poker boom, or he's more of a new?
I don't think I did. I think he started playing more
Yeah.
tournaments and he played live action.
Yeah.
I saw a couple people way back when I started. Will Smith used to come in the casino
Really?
and play. Yeah,
Wow.
that was cool.
I haven't seen him
Well, that
around.
was more when he was, Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air, huh?
Yeah. Well, the rapper from what
Don't
I
get
know.
me into
Remember,
these,
I'm a hip hop
Don't get me
girl.
into these '80s stuff. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Right.
Barry Woods, he's got Ace King offsuit. He's going to raise it up here. Big slick.
I'm going to call you in for this.
I appreciate
Ooh, and Brian's going to come in here with what's a loose call for him with little suited connector. 7-8 of clubs. I imagine that Eric is going to get out in between, and he
Let me make
does.
sure I want to do this before
And we are heads up here, about a $60 or $70 pot.
Oh, big lick. I need to
And the flop comes 10-4-8. Brian's actually out-flopped Barry. Barry's out of position. See if he makes a continuation bet.
make it
100.
40.
He's going to bet 40 into about a $60 pot. And let's see what Brian does. Brian quickly calls with second pair.
Try to take it easy. I'm giving you options to get out anytime.
And I appreciate it.
Turn is a 3.
Barry's not going to stop.
Well, looks like he bets 100 now. The pot was about 150, so it's now 250. It's 100 for Brian to call. So Barry, he's bet a little under the size of the pot here on the turn.
Can't hear nothing, I'll leave it.
And look at this, Brian's going to quickly call again.
You can't get
Pot's
too
now
in more.
350. The river's a queen, and Brian's good.
Yeah, Barry can get him to fold.
And Barry checks.
Barry gives up.
And I'm sure Brian's just going to check right behind him.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
he pushed
yes.
it in.
Wow, he bet.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow. It's an interesting bet there on the river.
Yeah.
If I was him, I would just be like, here are my cards.
Mm-hmm.
Let them please be good. Well, very quickly folds. And Brian takes it down.
I was thinking Barry was going to be able to get away with it if he pushed one more time.
Well, at that point, the guy had committed, I want to say, maybe 50% of his stacks.
The thing is
yeah.
that Seat 5 was sitting there saying, I'm warning you, be careful, this and that. And Barry said, okay, I'm taking that into consideration. He fires again, meaning, I'm not afraid of you. I have a great hand.
Yeah.
And then if he does it one more time on the river, you would think that Seat 5 folded, but I don't know what he saw. I mean, he called on the turn, so. I liked the bet on the turn by Barry.
buddy, your partner.
Well, it brings it back to the fundamental rules of restricted buy and no limit. I mean, you got to look at the guy's stack size.
Right.
If they both had 10,000 and they make a $10,000 bet on you at the river, it's tough to call there. But if he had already put 200 in the pot and he only had 200 left, and he seemed frustrated, he might have made the call anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, that in a way makes sense, Bart. But I mean, you don't put your $200 just because you're pot committed if you don't think you have the best hand. You know.
No, but I mean, what was he calling for on the turn though? If he didn't think he had the best hand then.
Thank you.
Eric has hit top pair here. King 7-5 rainbow,
So I fly call and turn out draw you? No.
You should go make him comment.
and he's going to bet 30.
The show would cancel.
And looks like he's going to take it down.
Oh, really?
There you go.
We're both
Mr.
diamond?
Eric. Eric with an H.
Garbage. I don't usually play that. No, for $10 on the button. I should have raised it. What's gonna happen? I should have raised it. At ace 9 diamond. Raise 5. I don't get a call.
Button moves over to Barry Woods in seat 9. And we're going to take a look at another chip count. Well, Francois, when he doubled through Barry Woods,
He's really doing well.
he's up over 1,000. Barry is probably down for the night, I want to say, a couple hundred
Right.
because
Well,
of
he
the rebuy.
rebought for 500,
Right.
so he's up a little bit since the rebuy, but
Right.
down 200.
Exactly. And then everyone else kind of
Trailing
in the
behind.
middle. And James Woods is going to come in for a raise here in seat 6. Ace Queen off suit. And look at the loose call by Irwin. Deuce 7 of hearts. Any two cards. And he's picked up a pair, but James has got top pair. Ace 9 deuce. Irwin checks. James bets. $70 here.
What
He
is
calls
going
with
on?
bottom
Yeah.
pair. Now you got to put the guy in a weak ace. Why not push all in on the turn? If I'm James Woods, I mean, I wouldn't think he's going to have a deuce. But of course, it's live at the bike. We've seen some brutal turn cards. Let's hold our breath. The turn's a 9. And it goes check, check. And the river is a 6. I think Irwin actually might have position on James.
No.
No? The button is in seat 9. Okay. No, so Irwin,
He doesn't,
yeah,
no.
James does have position. He checked the turn. And now he bets the river. Wow.
Get a rape whistle?
Why would he check the turn there?
Maybe he put him on second pair. That would be the only explanation.
Well,
Is that he didn't put him on weak ace, but put him on second pair.
again, if you're going to make that check on the turn, you're going to have to call a bet from up front a lot of times on the river. You know, he checked behind the guy on the turn, so you got to be prepared to make that call because you've inherently induced a bluff on the turn. Little did he know he had bottom pair.
Right.
Ceases to amaze me. Some of the plays that we see on the show.
It's my favorite hand right here. It's so bad. I feel it. I'm doing this just because I like everything about it.
Got a $15 raise there by seat number 9, Barry Woods. And he's got 7-4 offsuit. Pop comes ace, king, deuce. Well, there you go. And this is one of these hands that drives me crazy here too, Shirley. The turn's a 4 of hearts. If you're going to bring it in with rags, why not take a shot in position on the flop if you're Barry?
30.
I mean, I'm looking at 7-4. I see that flop. That's not a bad flop if I raised it pre-flop in position.
If you right.
And now we've got
But there's a lot of players in the pot too.
and now Barry bets with his pair of 4s. And Justin is going to call with the flush draw and the straight draw. Barry's hand's good right now. And the river's an ace, and he escapes. Check, check. Pair of 4s is going to be good. Unfortunately for Barry, he's going to have to show this one down.
Yes. Well, might be good for him though. You never know.
Hey, I had you out kicked a feeling 9-4.
No, I understand what you're saying, that there's a lot of people in there, but sometimes you can get gun shy. You know.
Johnny Panhand.
But,
I had you beat anyway.
you know, I see that happen a lot. You know, somebody might come in with a raise with inferior holdings, and then this is scary. I mean, any flop, if I'm going to come in with a raise with a garbage hand, and anything that has an ace come, I'm probably going to bet.
Yes.
Especially in position.
Most of the time, I will too. But
Yeah.
you know, there were how many other opponents
Three
did we
other
have?
ones.
3 opponents.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad today.
Yeah, you would think somebody's going to be calling with an ace in there, and you know, in a heads-up situation, absolutely. And against 2 opponents, most likely. But against 3, it's a little tough.
$200?
20.
Got a $20 raise here
No,
by
I thought you.
Eric. He's got pocket deuces.
Loose call, just for you. Drawing
And it looks like the button has called here. Again, a loose call by Irwin. Queen 3 of hearts. And Brian's in there with 4-3 of diamonds in seat 5. And the flop comes 8-6-5, couple of spades. Brian's got an open-ended straight draw.
Go ahead.
But if his 7 comes, it's going to be a 4-liner to a straight. Turn is a 9.
Go ahead.
And Eric looks to be still good with pocket deuces here. And he's going to fire now. That's 30.
Drawing at the bad end.
And he's going to take it down. And he shows the deuces.
He shows. He thinks he's bluffing.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir.
Pocket. Pocket is. I'm not asking. They're asking me as to what pocket deuce. I didn't see his card.
That's all dudes.
It was two deuces. Pocket deuces. Check the camera. Those are very similar to each other. They both look similar.
You should be paying him to be your friend.
I don't have enough money there. That's why I don't have any friends.
I do, and I still don't have friends.
Well,
20. I keep getting smaller. I go from 30 to
Seat 9 is going to raise here.
What else can I do here?
Should I do it blind or just low?
Whatever you want. Just call me. I need some action. Okay, we got one guy.
Whatever you
My
want.
7-4 is going to hit you again.
I can't call you.
So we got three-way action here. King 4-9. Justin's got top pair here.
Flash and pot.
We took care of it.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. No, I know that you're
And he's going to bet here 20.
business in there.
Well, and Barry's going to call with pocket sevens. Maybe he's going to see what's going to happen here in the turn. The turn's the 3 of clubs. And he's going to bet 100 now.
He's going to bluff me out of a pot thing with my pocket pair.
And Barry's in a tough spot. And this guy really hasn't,
Not that tough to lay down sevens.
yeah, he hasn't really made any moves all night. Seat 4, Justin, and Barry makes the laydown. I think one street too late.
Did Barry have the 7 of spades?
I'm not sure. The other thing too is when sometimes, like, if you're really, really deep in no limit, you might be able to take one off, thinking that you could make anywhere between 20
Right,
and
if
25
you hit
times
your
your money
set.
if you hit your set.
Right.
But this guy is not that deep. He only has $300.
Right.
I mean, to make a $45
And then the other
call.
thing, see, now I don't know for sure if Barry had the 7 of spades, but there were 2 spades out there. So if he was drawing a 2 spades and one of them, 2 sevens and one of them was a spade, that
Right.
means that his 7 that gives him a set makes a flush out there.
Right.
If he did have the 7 of spades, it's not as bad.
Right.
Leave the dealer alone.
No, I'm not shaking your hand.
I got one already.
Couple limpers here.
How do you win the million?
You have $1 million?
You get a jackpot
You have a lot
on
of
the
them?
tables,
You have
and
to
then you
jack
come
up
in
like
at
five
that
different
day, then they draw your table, and then the person...
And we are limped around. And C3's got ace queen. He chose not to raise from the cutoff.
Oh, yeah.
has to be your table.
And he's picked up top pair, ace 6-9 on the flop.
So it's like impossible.
Yes, and then once they get your table, then
No
they have
one's
to
won it
pick
in
one
40
of
years.
Barry bets second pair.
Yep, Barry's got
Jack
jack 9. He's going to bet. Francois makes. Does he make the call there? It looked like he threw out some chips in seat 1. No, he's going to get rid of it. And let's see if Kyle raises here.
Oh, look what's happening now.
Kyle's going to raise.
Now look what you've done.
60.
He's going to make it 60.
35.
Still after act.
Oh, that's not exactly. Is David inside?
And the action's back over to Barry.
Is David inside?
Now, this guy did not show any pre-flop strength, Kyle in seat 3.
35.
35 more for Barry to call. He has backdoor diamonds as well. He's going to make the call. And here we go. Pot is about $120. Barry checks blind. And the turn is a 10 here, so he's picked up a diamond draw.
30.
And
That's
Kyle
a
bets
small
30 into about a $110 pot. And it looks like all of Barry's outs are good. A diamond,
Yeah,
a 9,
even
a
if he
jack.
didn't have the diamond draw, I'd
Yeah.
call 30 for that pot
And-
to
and
hit
he's-
my,
yeah, he's
hit
gonna
my
make the
trips
call.
or 2 pair.
So it's about a $170 pot now, and the river's a 3. Kyle's hand is good. And he bets, looks like another 30. And look at that, Barry just quickly mucks. Yeah, Kyle really, I think he really underbet the turn there. He could have gotten a real bad spot.
All I do is stay even. Doing all I can to stay even.
You haven't bluffed in a while.
I know, I've got to start again.
That's why he was trying to stay even.
That's what I said. But those 2 pots I don't win, I'm dead. I'm falling for shit.
And that was kind of the first time we've heard from Kyle all night long.
All right, Barry, that means if you fold, I can raise.
And I want my cards back.
It's been limped so far. Francois just chooses to limp with 10s.
And C5's going to raise here with ace queen. He's going to make it 40 to go. James is out of there.
All this action is still hard.
And Francois makes the call.
Okay, I have cards.
Oh,
And he was planning on calling you.
Wow. And Brian, I think, almost... I think he showed,
He showed his
hand.
hand.
Oh, wow. Brian
You make a call,
prematurely turned up his hand. And if I'm Francois, why don't I come over the top now? How do you just call with pocket tens now if you know Brian has ace queen?
That's true.
And the
I was
flop
thinking
comes
I would
4,
call
4,
and see what the
5.
flop.
And now he bets.
I had a hand, dog.
But why would you want to give him a free ride like that? That's interesting.
I was gonna raise it too. Don't get me wrong. I was gonna call it. Okay? I'm not trying to take your money.
I mean, wouldn't you? I mean,
I
it's
don't-
almost like reverse
I don't
psychology.
know.
I mean, it's almost like reverse psychology. At that point,
You made me
you
break
put the
my
pressure
stack.
on the guy. You have the best hand. Why not move all in?
Well, now that you
And-
say it, it makes sense. But at the moment, I don't know. You know.
And then you're like, I mean, why not move all in? And maybe the guy thinks you're on a steal.
He's gonna show me his card.
Because ace queen isn't necessarily, the best hand, but in a cash game, I'll take pocket tens against ace queen. I am.
For all your chips, even though you only have $5 invested,
Well,
high.
I think it's a situation where the guy's most likely going to fold anyways because I'm making that move. And if he calls me, I'm ahead.
Yeah, but
So-
not by much.
Well, it's an interesting situation.
I mean, with $5 invested, I don't want to stick out, $500 in a race when you can find better spots. In no limit, the way that these people play, I mean, what we've seen on Live at the Bike, you can get your money in as a bigger favorite than as a 52 to 48. Don't you think?
Ace 10 queen here.
I see what you're saying. I mean, that makes sense too.
And James had actually raised pre-flop, and he's going to bet out on this flop. So he raised with rags, and it's kind of a scary flop, and he bets in position. He makes it 60 here. He makes it 60. And look at that, Francois mucks.
For once he was betting all night long, that's a monster.
Is Brian going to call with
Yeah,
ace?
I think
he's
Brian's
got,
lost his
he's got
mind.
top pair.
I know.
Well, he's got top pair, but it's a
But
weak
James has
kicker.
been playing pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Turns a 7. Now let's see what James does. And it goes check, check. He takes a card. And the river is a third club. It's an 8 and actually gives Brian aces up.
He bets James won't make this call.
No. Well, James is taking a little bit of the Dave Tuckman, Bart Hampton school of thought, raising there on the button, in the cutoff and on the button with almost anything if it's a weak, tight table. I mean, any two connected cards. 7-4 is a little bit of a stretch.
That's
but,
pushing it a little.
But hey, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look at the board.
Right.
I love the fact that he bets into it, whereas
Yeah.
Barry, who had done the same thing, checked it, the 7-4. Now Barry ended up just getting lucky
Right.
and winning the hand. But a lot of people for that type of board wouldn't make a call with ace 8 of spades. That's a tough call to make, ace queen 10. I mean, there's just so many things that can beat your ace 8. I mean, if the flop was ace 4-5, ace 5-7 rainbow, and you've got a weak ace, but you think it's good, well, okay. But ace queen 10, so it's a different flop. Obviously, it's a different texture.
Oh, it's my fault. I'm just mad at you. Listen, Tristan, I was gonna raise you on top of your pre-flop. Well, you can do that.
Pocket queens and pocket kings. Oh boy, we're going to see another big hand here. Brian's got pocket queens in seat 5. The action's on him. The button here is in seat number...
Everybody call.
It's
seat
there we
number
go,
7.
Seat 7.
Okay, I raised. That's 15.
And he made it 15 to go. And Francois, who's got pocket kings in seat 1, he's going to make the re-raise. Got a couple of callers in between.
Now, normally, I would say that's a big raise, but in this case, he probably is going to get it.
There were
Yeah.
3 or 4 callers in between.
How much more did he make?
He's made it
Did he get
100 more
Yeah,
with pocket
that's what I
kings.
thought.
So a re-raise by Francois with pocket kings. Brian brought it in for 15, got 2 or 3 callers in between.
And Brian looks like he's thinking about it, but I can guarantee you there's no way he's
Uh-oh,
folding.
and he's going to move it all in here, and I'm sure Francois is going to quickly call. And Francois, unless he gets extremely unlucky, is going to continue to increase his chip stack.
Okay, gamble, go.
Kings against pocket queens. Here we go.
I win with pocket kings, I lose with pocket kings, right?
Come on.
Kings against queens.
Nice hand.
About $1,000 pot. Look at this. A queen comes right off. Oh, my. And we know one of the kings is dead. Francois has he has one out now. One of the kings is dead, and the river is a 7, and what a horrible beat for Francois. Brian's going to take it down there with a set of queens. Oh, my. Unbelievable. So it goes in the cash game. So it goes. Wow. Right off the bat, too. Right off the bat. Unbelievable.
Wow.
So, big pot there.
He wishes he would have got to see that flop.
That was huge. He had
That queen hit, that eight, anyone with an
400, like 450, I think, in his rack.
Yeah, something
When
like
he pushed
that.
it out?
Close to 500, 450 to 500. Oh, that's just that's a brutal beat there. I mean, you know, that's actually a very, very interesting situation in this game when you have that amount of chips. Do you want to commit? It's tough because you don't necessarily want to. I mean, if you call there, knowing that maybe a couple other people are going to call in between, behind you, you're almost like playing queens to hit a set, or you got to really figure out where you're at if undercards come. Do you want to push all your chips in? Now, the guy re-raised everyone else over there. Maybe he would make the same play with jacks or something, but I'm not saying that anyone would fold that, but it's tough.
James has aces.
It's actually Bobby.
It's seat 7.
Yeah,
okay.
Bobby's got it.
That's Bobby.
He's going to
James
raise
has
to
ace nine.
45.
Francois giving.
And look at this. Irwin
He's
comes.
giving Brian
boy,
the evil eye.
Irwin's got 8-4 of diamonds. He's made some very, very questionable calls pre-flop tonight.
Yes, he has.
Unbelievable. And James is going to call with ace rag off suit.
It's not,
wow.
Yeah, not even suited.
Wow. And Kyle's in there with ace 10. All the aces are dead. And the flop comes 9-6 deuce. Is James going to get involved here? Remember, he mugged pocket nines earlier in the show. And he bets right in 100. And Bobby immediately moves over the top all in. It probably looks like 200 to 225
Right.
more. And the pot, I want to say, when James bet was about 250. He bet 250, so now if the guy makes it another, say, 200, it's about a $450 to $500 pot, about maybe 150 for James to call. That's my best guesstimate. And boy, would he be drawing slim.
He knows he's drawing slim.
I mean, he
And
would
someone
have...
else at the table knows that, and that's not cool to say. It's 2 outs, you know.
He actually... he would need to catch perfect. He would need to catch running nines here, if I'm correct.
What do you mean running? He just needs one more 9. What do you mean perfect?
Well, I think that... You're right, actually. One more 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I think one of the 9s is dead.
285. So now
So you-
185 more.
185 more.
185.
So the pot actually is about 550, 185 to call.
Ooh,
Look at this. He
makes
makes
the
the call. And he's up against aces. And Bobby even has the ace of spades in his hand. Here we go.
What world?
Turn is a 7. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
And the river's an 8.
Looked like a 9.
Yeah, when that thing came out.
Following my lead? Yeah, I'm following your lead.
And James comments that it was a terrible call.
I'm not thrilled with it.
Well,
I made one mistake, cost me $400. Actually, it's not even a mistake. You just out flopping. I have
Oh, I don't care. I just played my thought about larger pot out.
wow.
When can we reload? Oh, yeah?
anytime below 5. Anytime below 5.
Unbelievable.
I played it wrong. That's my mistake. I should have raised right away. You would just call. I see the ace. I mucked it. Go ahead. That was definitely my fault. Because if I raise, he's gonna call.
Limped
my
pot,
raise.
5-way
Six
action.
way.
Yeah.
6-way action.
No, you didn't understand. If I check, if I raise,
Flop,
right
10,
away,
9,
he's
6.
gonna call my raise. And then the ace come on the
Couple
flop.
players with a pair of 9s.
You know what I mean?
You see the ace.
And I think Francois has king 10 of clubs. Kind of looks like that
I
from
would just
here.
If he just flat called me and saw the flop, he would have got out.
James bets 20.
How much is it?
20.
$20. And Francois is going to come over the top with King 10 of clubs.
Right. Oh, James has 2 pair.
Yep.
I missed that.
James has got the bottom 2 pair there, 9s and 6s. Francois got top pair. And he's going to move all in. It looks like he doesn't have that much. Barry's got ace 9. It's 80 more, I believe. And James is going to need to dodge some cards here. And the turn is a 7.
8, 9, 10.
And the river is a 3. And Francois makes backdoor clubs. Oh! Wow.
Yeah, there wasn't much he could
Wow.
do. James could do about that one.
Unbelievable. We're just seeing some incredible hands here. Absolutely amazing. Wow. And I think James made a comment about backdoor reference.
Really? I wonder if he knows the history behind that comment.
Keep playing. That's good. You made a good call there.
That is hilarious. Actually, I don't.
We don't know that for sure.
I don't know that for sure. No.
It was not a big.
No, we're saying it was a good
Incredible.
call. Good bet, good call.
30.
I mean, Francois had a lot of outs when he picked up the club draw there in the turn.
Right.
You guys leave me alone, okay? I just got a bad beat.
50 cents.
And looks like we get a raise, and it looks
Hey,
like
buddy.
Eric's going to take down the blinds.
Give him 90.
And it looks like James Woods is going to rebuy here.
Currency bureaus make money on. What is it?
He's going to rebuy. And of course, he can rebuy for 500 more, and that's what he's going to do. Rebuys for 500 more.
You gave me a bad beat with ace deuce.
Hey, listen, hey.
I give you
Again, we want to welcome everyone watching live at the bike for the first time. You might have read the Card Player article. Of course, we stream live cash games on the internet from 6 to 9 o'clock Pacific time, Monday through Friday. You can also check us out if you're in England on our poker channel, the LA poker scene.
Right.
Hey, listen, you know I play solid. I'm just
Looks like Barry Woods is going to raise here. 4-5 offsuit, does not get a caller,
I'm like a virgin.
and he takes it down.
People don't know that. I'm a virgin. Yeah, really. They're lucky. They're bad luck for you, though.
If you wonder here, I want to see if James Woods might steam here a little bit.
I don't know.
He seems like he's a guy in pretty good control. You know, that's just his,
He looks
his
like
demeanor.
it, yeah. He
you
looks
know?
like it now. He did look a little upset earlier.
This how
But he was probably, like I get, you know, I don't really necessarily steam because, you know, someone put a beat on me or someone I steam when I make a bad decision. And he was probably mad at himself for making that decision with an ace-9 hand.
Well, the other issue, though,
Somewhere down
the other
the line.
issue, too, is that does he have such a competitive spirit, Pot is limped around here, where he's just angry that he loses? Because obviously the money at this level means nothing to him. You know, Pot's limped around here, ace, 3, 4. Bobby's got an open-ended straight draw, 5, 6. He does not bet in there. A little
Ooh,
surprising.
who has 5-6? Pocket sixes.
Pocket sixes.
20.
Actually,
And now he bets 20.
Because you counted fifth. You had the 10 that came. And then what was on the turn? 8. No, that's not good.
And it looks like
Yeah, you'd have 10.
his hand is actually good here. There you go.
Any card pair.
Takes it down.
Because I got 9s over 60s.
I'm probably one of the most competitive people that I know, and you'll go crazy if you get mad every time you lose a pot. I don't think that there's anybody out there like that.
Well, especially when you're ahead, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, if someone gives me a bad beat, that's poker. You know, I take my ace against kings, and kings beat me. Okay, that's poker.
But if he had these
If
two
I,
pairs, I'm dominated.
you know, just do something totally idiotic, then I get mad.
You still ahead on the flop, but on the turn you right.
Normally more so in tournaments, you know, because you make one mistake and you're out. Here you make one mistake. If you can, you know, maintain your composure, you can get back in that game and, you know, still make a profit.
Right, once you're out of the tournament, you're out of the tournament.
Right.
So you play a satellite, right? Hit the satellite breaks if you want some more action. 4-way action here. Looks like it was limped around. It's a $20 pot. Jack 9 deuce.
15.
And Bobby's going to bet here with ace 9, $15.
14 too many.
And looks like he's going to take it down. Again, we are playing 300 to 500, no limit hold'em. The blinds for this game are 5 and 5. It's my favorite game that they spread here at the bike. It's a restricted buy-in, no limit game. But the stacks can get very deep, and the blind size is relatively small.
Right.
So, and it's a big action game.
Fault like queen is better than my hand when I raise 100, so that's good. You keep
Well,
on,
it looks like you're trying to steal us.
you keep on feeling, you keep on feeling like this all the time.
Look like you were trying to steal.
It looks like you're trying to steal us.
Every time I raise, I show bad hand now.
This guy with
King
his
10 is not the same as a
$45
pair
raise.
of kings.
50.
50.
And look at this, Irwin again, very, very questionable. He hasn't played many hands, and the hands that he's played, he brings us in with a raise with Queen Deuce. James Wood's got pocket nines, and Francois in there. We can't see what he has.
50. 45.
50.
Oh, son of a...
Let's see what Francois has here.
3 players.
Jack 10 offsuit. And look at this flop. Jack 10-8. Francois
150.
has got 2 pair. Irwin's got an open-ended straight draw, and James, actually Irwin's got a gut shot, and James has an open-ended straight draw. And Francois bets immediately in there with top 2. 150.
Why is the flop straight?
No, if you have a straight, push on it.
But did you flop a straight?
No, but I'm telling you, don't come.
And James is asking, did you flop a straight?
I got a great hand.
Okay, here. Don't
So
call.
James has got an open-ended straight draw.
I got you way beat on that.
Why don't you show me one of your cards? I'll show you one of mine.
Now listen to this, Shirley.
James tried to bargain with him. You show me one, I'll show you one.
Yep.
Oh. Show one.
And I think he did show one. I think both of
He
them
did
showed
show.
one.
He did show a 9.
And Francois showed a jack.
Show the other one.
This is really interesting.
I got a straight, so you got a good 19% chance to hit.
Go ahead, do whatever you get.
And James is saying, I have a straight. Well, unless he called there with Queen 9 or 7-9, right? Those would be the 2 straight hands. So the issue is he going to be kind of on tilt here from the losses? And he makes the call! Holy smokes!
Put a 7, let me muck.
Francois is rooting for a 7, but it's kind of like that Phil Locke reverse thing, and turns a 3. It's about a $400 pot, and Francois checks
Yes.
right behind James Woods. The river's a 5 of spades. It's a 3rd spade on the river. I don't... Is that a strange check on the turn there, Shirley, right? My goodness.
From Francois.
And it gets checked down.
No 7?
Unbelievable.
Well, you know, James showed the 9, and Francois might have put him on a 7-9. He wouldn't think he was just calling with an open and straight draw.
So you think he was taking the card there to try to hit a full house?
Probably.
Okay. Again, I put those questions like, "What is he doing?" kind of rhetorically, and I'm
Right.
glad that you're you're engaging, like what he might be thinking.
Come on, I don't give a shit. I'm losing. I mean, I'm on tilt.
You know, that might be just the type of thing where I'm just going to have to commit my chips. If he got a straight, he's got a straight. I have outs to a full house, but I definitely don't want to give, a
But
big
when
drawing
James
card.
calls, what would you put him on? Would you put him
Well-
on a straight draw? Or you would put him on the main straight?
I think I might put him on a pair and a straight draw. I got to be honest with you.
Okay.
A pair and a straight draw.
Well,
would
then
make a
that
lot
would
of
make sense why you would move in.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what Francois thought.
But why would James then he didn't really show a lot of aggression on the flop. He just smooth called the flop.
Well, that's what I would do. If
Shot called the flop.
you're in position and you have, or was he? He wasn't.
No, he was
in.
out of
He
position.
was out of
That's
position.
why it's a
You're
little
right.
strange. Ace 5 Jack here on the flop. Barry's got top and bottom pair. And looks like he's going to bet $30.
2 players.
And we got a caller in there. Eric with King Jack. Turns a 6. Eric's in real bad shape. Barry's going to drive forward with $60.
Flop draw. Okay, you had king 7. The flop comes 8, 7, 7. I had 9, 8. I had 10, 9. The turn comes to 6. I make the swing. The river comes to 8. Pair the board twice.
And I want to say that Eric would only be able to win this hand. You have to spike to Jack,
Yeah,
right?
I
in the
think
river.
it's Jack.
Yeah.
Three-handed. You
He's in really bad shape.
He's thinking about it, though.
took 400 off of me. You owe me $10. Mario's the biggest part.
And he's gonna mug it. And this game is really, really exciting. It seems like every yeah, it's just a 5. Now I'm just gonna show these. It seems like every hand is really interesting.
Yes.
I mean, this is some interesting stuff for the beginner, for entertainment value. We got James Woods on the table. We got James Woods going head to head with Francois in seat 1. They're still jawing back and forth. Look at the look he's giving him.
I know. Francois looks like he's mad at everybody on the table.
Yeah. He's got the toothpick in his mouth.
If we bring back Mike, Francois will be smiling.
Yeah.
He's smiling, high-fiving.
I'm done. I figured I'd have to show him. He's been rubbing my leg for like 20 minutes, so I owed him. I'm sorry,
That's not with my left hand either.
That's always good times here on the table.
TMI, dude.
Bobby's got an ace-king. He's on the button. He's going to make it 35 to go. Brian in seat 5 with the big queen suck out. It's got a lot of chips, and he made a limp with pocket 4s. And he's probably deep enough to call Bobby here with the 4s. He is out of position. Of course, when you're trying to make that call to hit a set, you want to look at your stack and your opponent's stack who's raising. And it looks like Bobby's deep, and I think that Brian's also deep. So let's see if he makes the call here with pocket 4s.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Brian's definitely.
Yeah. And he does make the call.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here comes the flop, ace, ace, 8. Let's see if Bobby gets tricky here and checks it. And if a 4 spikes, and he does check it, oh, the turn's a 7.
Come on, jackpot. Easy.
And now Bobby's going to put some money in. He's got the nut flush draw as well. He bets 25. Wouldn't this be something? The 4 spades comes off here at the end. And pocket 4s makes the call. Oh, and the river is an ace.
Oh.
Yeah, now if we had
that table's hoping for a jackpot.
Yep.
If Brian had a bigger pocket pair than 4s.
Jackpot!
Nope.
Yeah.
I got a pair.
If he had 10s. Now, at some other casinos, they have small jackpots.
Right. Aces
where it's
full of
aces
anything.
full of anything, yeah.
In this casino, it's aces full of 10s. Or better, beaten by 4 of a kind or better. So if Brian's pocket pair were 10s or higher, that would have been a jackpot.
Can we shoot you? But doesn't it be
It's not my fault.
Yeah, if he had 10s or higher, that would have been a jackpot. We haven't seen a jackpot hit on Live at the Bike, although there was one time during tabletop period of the show way back when on a 30-60 game when it actually would have hit, but at that time the game didn't have a jackpot.
Right.
The guy has ace king. I'm thrilled. They didn't have a jackpot then at the yellow chip game. My first hand, very first hand ever, I made my first hand against 4 aces.
This game's got a lot of action in it now.
We have a straddle there in seat 2. He doesn't have any chips. He's choosing a straddle and put those in.
His play has just been dumbfounding tonight for me.
Yeah.
Trying to figure him out.
Oh, he has 8-3 spades, and that's kind of right up his alley.
Yeah. I'm totally clueless when it comes to this guy here in seat 2.
Trying to figure out why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah. We got 4-way action. I believe that it was just limped around. Barry's hit top pair here. And he's going to bet right out with the ace-10. And he bets 30. Into about a $40 pot if it was straddled. And Justin makes the call with pocket 5s.
And once again, this is the same thing that I was talking about. You have pocket 5s. He does not have the 5 of clubs. So if he's calling to hit his set,
check
and he
on
hits
the
the
turn.
5 of clubs, it puts a possible flush out there.
Barry checked the ace on the turn, and now he's going to bet the river. When the club comes, he's going to bet the river here. He bets 40. 50, actually, to be precise. Well, I know that Barry was obviously probably trying to go for the check raise there, but unfortunately, if the guy's on a club draw here, you let
if
off.
If it's not the time to lead out.
Yeah,
you
let
on the
off
river.
a free card. And
right.
It came.
And then when it comes, you bet into it.
Yeah.
I wonder what he put Justin on.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, you know, it's really, really difficult for anybody to call there on the river because the club came. I'm talking about your opponent. When you bet into the possible flush, is he going to call you with the 7?
Which is, you know, I mean, if you want to make a bet into that pot with 3 clubs on a pure bluff, trying to steal that pot, it's a great bluffing card. But when you have a hand as strong as Trips, you know, with
Yeah.
a 10 kicker, you don't need to bet into there because you're only going to get called
Got another chip count there.
by someone who has you beat.
30.
There we go. So Brian C5 takes the lead. Francois got crippled a little bit.
Want to play heads up again.
And James, I want to say, is James in for a buy-in? So he's down about 500.
He's in.
James Woods.
He bought in 2 times. So
Two
far.
times.
Yeah, so he's down $500.
No way.
Right. He's in for one rebuy. So he's
Right.
down for he's down 500.
2 buy-ins.
Yeah.
Okay, all in there.
And Irwin has moved all in here, and Eric has got ace jack, and Eric has him dominated.
Well, not anymore.
9-5-6 on the flop. Ace 6 out flops the 8 jack.
I got a pair of
The
those.
ace jack turns a 3. No one has a diamond,
I got 2 pairs.
and the river's a 3. Ace 6 wins it. Wow.
I had an ace too. Ace 7.
I was like, I thought we hit it. I thought, you got it?
Wow, wow, wow.
I know, I was like,
And Irwin continues to just kind of hang around
The board was
in the game.
ace, deuce, ace, 3, ace.
the thing is,
I had pocket queens, I had ace king.
I was on 3 jack.
And the button moves over to Francois.
I've won 5 or 6
You
times.
hit one.
Still kind of getting a mixed vibe from him, Shirley.
Sometimes he's happy-go-lucky. Sometimes he's like really pissed off.
It's almost like a kind of a bipolar feeling vibe that I get.
Good luck. It's on that one.
Eric raised to 30.
Yep. He's got king, queen, offsuit.
Money back.
And this time Irwin, he's got a
He
decent
has
hand.
a decent hand,
Ace,
yeah.
queen. And we're heads up. Irwin is out of position, but he flops an ace. And actually, he just bets right all in here. Now, this is a
That's
time.
ugly.
Yeah, you know, that's actually a time where I would check call.
Right.
With my ace, queen.
You
from
don't
up
have
front.
that many chips, and you hope someone bluffs in you.
Yeah.
You're going to play for all your
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
I mean, play for all your chips.
Like I said, I'm not a proponent of slow playing or being tricky, but that's actually a time there where
I agree.
checking and check raising all in, the guy might feel he's committed once he bets on the flop.
Right.
You don't really give him a chance to make a move at it. There.
what am I supposed to do?
Check it. Check that shit. Hey, no coaching. Leave him alone. What do you got to lose? $90? I think it
That's wrong, man.
Could have made 9
You get away, man.
Yeah, he's gonna bet easy for 45. Easy. And since you're gonna go all in for 90 more, he's gonna call you. Because
You bet
$45 more.
$45 more. That's all.
you got to bust another 200.
Barry's got a little
Yeah,
one gap suited connector. He's going to make the call.
hey, you know, I'll
And we're going to see three-way action. Barry in the blinds. Jack 6
We're
deuce.
straight. Jack 10.
Justin's going to bet right away. Bets $10.
Huh? 30. $90.
Very
Barry
nice.
raises. Now, the unfortunate thing for Barry here is I wonder if he's noticed how Justin's been playing all night. If he bets out from early position, I almost want to put him on top pair at least. Look at this. He comes right back over the top with the jack. Well, let's see if Barry's going to use that information now. Bet by Justin. Barry raises to 40. Justin's going to come over the top, make it 110 to go. I mean, this guy's played it squeaky tight all night. Barry wisely gets away from it. And again, obviously, we are privy to the cards that we've seen, because I don't know if Justin's actually shown down any of his winning hands, but I can only remember him betting out once or twice in the entire show from early position when he had king-queen with a queen-high board.
Right.
Going on the boat with James Woods will be at that one.
And
On this table, too. Jack got on this table. Yeah, it's nice for the casino. This, huh? Nice
Yeah, it's huge.
This table doesn't play that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good for the casino.
it looks like James Woods is coming back there. He did a little interview for the LA Poker Scene.
I'm taking you out to dinner.
So you
And
can't
he's
go
going to
back
bring it in
on
for a raise. He's got ace-jack offsuit.
Actually, yeah, hold
Makes
on.
it 35 to go. You notice how there's more and more chips on the table. The raises are getting bigger and bigger pre-flop.
Yeah, you're right.
I was supposed to talk about like a topic.
Barry's got ace-7 suited.
I was
He
talking
mucks.
about Hold'em, and there's a Card Player magazine that's you're on the cover.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah. So you were like the show of the class.
Russ McGinley on 2+2 says, "This is some bass backwards play right here."
All actors like play.
Does the dude in seat 1 thinks James Woods is going to give him an acting gig if he soft plays him?
Yeah. I had like.
If you would have run a Scott tissue in the bathroom, say,
suck out on that guy with the king.
Yeah, I thought the Jack 10 hand was a
All
little bit
Hollywood
weird
fans like to
too.
play Hold'em. Trying to think they know how to play. Nah, I said good things about you. I said like he's a bad player and he's a pretty good player. I didn't say nothing bad.
Got a $15 raise here.
It's okay. You said it before.
And trying to
Ace
sneak in.
deuce, right?
Yeah. Well, you know,
It's okay.
I expect that. The reason, actually, honestly, I've been doing that is because I've had how many people in this spot? Well, now I got
It's
a
just
call.
15. It's a block.
And we're gonna
Who raced
see
it anyway? I didn't even notice.
4 people in here. And look at that. Justin, actually 5 people. Justin on the button's got pocket nines. Chooses not to.
I got to the point where
Just chooses to call the original raise.
so I'm advertising here.
15.
A couple hundred to have some crap.
Ah, no. Yeah,
Queen 4 Jack here on the flop.
I don't want to kick them.
Looks like Francois is bet 15 here. We can't see what he has over there in seat 1.
I did.
Wow, Justin.
How many times
Oh, excuse me. Justin's got the ace 10. Kyle had pocket nines and he gets
Francois
rid
has
of it.
flush draw. He has 8-6 of diamonds.
There we go.
One time.
And seat 8 is in there with Jack 8. The turn's a Jack, and Eric hits trips in seat 8.
Full house.
And James made a call there with bottom pair 4-9. Wow. Eric comes out and he fires. The flush draw mucks. Justin's got a gut shot. He mucks.
Drawing him.
And it looks like James is going to get out of there too. And Eric spikes trips on the turn, and he's going to take it down.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. Yeah, we should do it. That's a good idea. I thought that Walter plays my game here, Walter Lack. And you know, we can do one night, do a Hollywood poker live at the bike, just, you know.
Yeah, you guys wear your shirts, what you guys can
Love it.
we'll advertise it.
I'll call the guys now. We'll set it up.
Who's the guy that I met? I was in black.
You know, I think that James Woods is a part of.
Hollywood Poker.
Yeah, he's starting that Hollywood Poker site, which is a
Well,
new
he's
site.
not starting it. It's been
Well-
around for a while.
Okay.
Don't start waving your hands at me, Bart. I'm going to throw you off your chair again.
Shirley, call her Mrs. Nitpicky. Jesus.
Well, it's not just starting. They've been advertising on my site for a long time.
Okay.
And he's part of it.
It's a
He's,
newer site. Okay, it's a newer site.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
And Vince
he,
Santan is also
yeah, they've got some Hollywood celebrities in there.
endorsing the site.
Pocket Jacks there for seat 5.
Take my 5.
Yeah, go ahead. Feel good about it.
And he's going to raise, and he's going to take it
Did I
down.
just steal $5?
No action there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that might be interesting if
If all Hollywood actors are gonna be here, I want to.
it's you know, it'd be interesting to have like a Hollywood poker night here.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Him and Vince Van Patten both in the game
Yeah.
with some other players. Yes.
Yeah.
You're good at.
No.
It's okay.
Obviously, poker.
I'm trying to make a poker living off of poker. It's not working.
If you want to be homeless.
Actually, I was.
King Queen suited
Yeah,
here
I
for
just took
Kyle.
400. God damn it, shit.
You like that hand?
Yeah, I do like that hand.
I actually like that hand more in limit hold'em.
I'm
But I mean, I'll play it no limit. It's still a good hand, obviously.
Player. Can't take it home. You're home.
6-way action. Ragged flop, deuce 3-8.
25.
And Bobby's going to come out and bet here with King 8. Looks like $25. Francois makes a call. He's got a deuce and a 4.
Okay, hold on. Hey, take it. No, take it.
So
Let him-
King 8 against
Take it?
4 deuce.
Give it to
Well, looks like I thought Francois had put money
Well,
in the pot.
yeah, but remember, Bobby's
not
his
good.
friend, so he said, here, go ahead.
You folded already.
They don't want to play each other,
That's not good?
I guess.
No.
I know I got you all kid.
I swear to God, that's not good.
Got 2 pairs.
What's my favorite hand? 4-2. What's my favorite hand?
Pocket
No.
kings.
You're right
No,
one.
3 deuce.
You're right one.
Is Hollywood Poker a skin for another site, or do they do their own thing?
That's not cheap. That's just stepping out like somebody else is doing. Yeah.
They
Look on my wife right now.
they use the same software as another site.
They do?
Yes.
I haven't had the chance to go on and check them out really yet.
OCDS.
Seems like there's all kinds of sites, you know, popping up here and there.
15.
James Woods is going to raise here with King 8 of diamonds.
30.
And wow, look at this. The small blind raises to 30. And Barry's going to re-raise to 45 straight, so $15 incremental raises. It's like we're playing Limit Hold'em here.
Yeah.
And we're going to see... Now, the only problem with making these small little raises in No Limit Hold'em is you open yourself up to a big re-raise, which Eric could have done there in the small blind with pocket sevens. But regardless, we've got 45 times 3 here going to the flop. Jack 8-4, couple of hearts. And Eric's going to bet 30.
That's a small bet.
Yeah, into a $135 pot.
He raises 16, he goes to 99.
And Barry here, he's got king, queen.
Barry's usually pretty good at picking up.
That's not 60.
gonna let it
Oh,
go. But James
I
calls
would not
with
have been
king 8.
surprised if he had raised.
James got the best hand here. The
Yes,
turn's
he
a
does.
3. And it goes check, check, and the river is a 9. And king 8 is good. James is going to take down another pot. Here we go.
Barry's pretty good at sensing weakness in his opponents, and I'm surprised he didn't put in some kind of raise with that weak bet. Unless he was afraid, you know, what James is going to do behind
Yeah,
him.
he did have James behind him.
You guys chase the winning hand out. That was good.
Straddle. Last straddle.
Mr. Straddle?
That was a
Okay,
good
what you guys do in your personal life is really no concern of this neighborhood. I mean, like live straddling?
Like straddling, yeah.
Guys straddling, man.
And Erwin's going to come in and straddle again, probably with not many chips in front of him.
He is a little more than he did last time, but still not much
Yeah.
compared to the other stacks here.
1 is enough. 1 is enough. 10, now that's good.
Eric's going to raise here. He's got king. Oh, no, he just calls. Looked like he brought a
He was
stack
going
of
to,
chips
and Barry's
up.
talking him out of it.
Yeah.
10's enough. 10's enough.
Einstein over here.
Oh, and maybe he did raise to 20.
To 20.
Oh, yeah, he did raise. He raised
He
it
only
to
raised
20
to
from
20.
the button. And the flop comes 9-8-4. Looks like Barry's
Barry.
hand is good here.
Playing Omaha. This is Omaha? Why'd I get 4 cards?
And it gets checked around. Ooh, the turn's a king. And now Justin and Eric both have the best hand. And now Barry bets. Wow. He bets 30 here. Justin's going to call. Now, what does Eric do behind him? The question is, can you make this overcall with King Jack when you've got a tight player calling in the middle? I mean, the way that Barry played this, you might even put him on 2 pair with kings up. But Eric is going to try to find some information. He's going to bet. Because a lot of people there with 7-8 wouldn't necessarily bet into the turn when a king falls. That's not a harmless card. Barry immediately folds. Eric has raised here to 60. And Justin, he's just played super ultra tight. He doesn't have a great kicker. If the guy had ace-king, king-queen, he'd be beat.
Right.
He does make the call. And now, if you're Eric, do you put the guy on a weak king? Could you bet him off of the hand on the river? The river's a deuce of diamonds. Or is he just going to check it in a showdown?
King Jack. King Jack.
And yeah, they're just going to check it down here, chop it up.
I bought it when it first came out, so for like $4.50. But I like it.
Chop that one up. I wonder if Barry would have check raised the flop there. Buttons over there. Barry Woods. Francois got ace-queen, small blind. Uh-oh, and here we're going to see probably another confrontation between James Woods and Francois. Francois has ace-queen. James Woods raised with ace-8. Francois just called. And we got 4-way action in here. King 10-6. No, James didn't fire this time. Turns a 3. And now Erwin's got a flush draw and middle pair.
40.
But Francois, he bets with the ace-queen. He bets 40. Irwin calls. Irwin has the best hand right now.
Two players.
He's going to have to dodge a couple cards here on the river, and he does. The 10 is good. Just gets checked down. Well, obviously Francois is a French name, but I don't think he's French. Again, he works here at the Bicycle Casino. I could be wrong.
Who? What other nationality names their kid Francois?
Well, I know. That's why I'm having. That's why I'm confused. Well, he's Armenian. That's what I'm getting worried
about. That's what I just heard.
Well, there are a lot of Armenians in France, Isaac is telling me, so maybe that's something.
And Isaac would know. Mr. Trivia.
I think Isaac and I should go head-to-head in some trivia someday. I think he probably...
Yeah, that is one game I won't play you in.
Well,
Bart.
he probably...
I'll play you in Omaha, but not in...
He probably would know a little more because he outdates me a little more.
Oh, God. I
Just
think that
a little
was an
more.
insult.
No, but I mean, you know.
You're not only going to have me knocking you off your chair, you're going to have Isaac throwing things at you pretty soon.
We've got three-way action here. It was raised. Seat 8 raised. Actually, he made it $30 to go with King Jack. And the flop comes Queen 8-8 here. And Eric is checked. And Francois is in the hand. We couldn't see what he has. Always give him trouble reading the cards there in seat 1. He bets 50. He's got King 8. He flopped trip 8s. And he bets it in position. And the action's back over to Eric, and he's going to fold. And Francois takes it down there with trip 8s.
So I'm not too sure about you, Bart. I mean, but I do know that Isaac is pretty, well-traveled, too. So I think he has that on you. Have you been, a lot of places with
I am
him?
well-traveled.
Are you? Because, Isaac's lived in Jamaica and everything.
I haven't lived in Jamaica. I lived in Mexico, but I lived in England for a long time, and I've been all over Europe several times.
Mm-hmm.
Never made it to South America, unfortunately. That's one place I'd like to go. But I've been around Eastern Europe a lot. That's my thing.
I want to go.
Yeah, that's my
What is the website? I never play online, so...
Great, I've played there.
I've never played online. Not even one time. Not even play money. Can you believe that? Never even played.
Few limpers.
No, I played money with...
Five-way action.
Yeah, I'm homeless. You forgot? I'm homeless.
6-4-3. Looks like Justin's got 4 deuce over there in the big blind, seat 4, and that appears to be the best hand right now. Turns a 9. Francois has cards again. I think it's 7-5. Bobby's going to bet now with top pair, King 9. So Francois flopped a straight, and he's going to raise it. We couldn't see what he had there. He's giving us difficulty with the cards. Yeah. And he says he flopped the straight, and he tells him, and he shows Bobby, and he takes it down. Well, it's interesting that Francois bet on the button last hand with trip 8s, and then chose to slow play the straight there. So 2 different schools of thought. Now, obviously, the pot wasn't that big; it was limped around. But it's almost like I'd be more apt to bet that flop in a limped pot and trap with the other hand that he didn't trap with.
I don't remember the exact specifics. I mean, if there was a flush possibility on the last hand.
I think it was Queen 8-8 rainbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bullshit, you had a 9. Bullshit. Don't fluff me out, fool. Unless you would have bet it. Come on, man.
Pot is limped around here. 4-way action. Queen 5 deuce. Couple diamonds. Gonna get checked around. Turns a 9. Still doesn't look like
10.
anyone. Or 10. Still doesn't look like anyone has a pair.
Barry has a straight draw.
Yep, King Jack.
Justin has a straight draw.
Barry takes it down.
Open in.
You know, I think that nowadays it seems like just with the new poker sites that have cropped up in the last year, let's just say the last year, that is anyone really trying to go out and do it independent, or is it just not financially feasible? As opposed to like
Honestly,
skinning it,
I don't
you know?
see anybody that comes out with a new site being able to make it unless you have something strong.
Well, like unless you do something like what
offers
Full
something.
Tilt did. Now,
Right.
what Full Tilt did is like play
But
against
they-
the pros.
Yeah.
So
but
that's
they
how,
have that idea.
Right,
Now you
that's
have
how
to come
they
up with some other
right.
genius idea. I mean, you have all these websites and you have almost everything that you could possibly want. I mean,
Right.
granted, they're not all on one, but if you want to go to a site, let's do a chip count first.
So Brian is still in the lead over there. Francois has actually gained a little bit of momentum.
Yes, he has.
James is down probably about 600, James Woods. So continue your thought. You know,
Oh
if
yeah.
it-
Okay. So
yeah.
I was saying that all sites might not have everything, but if you want to go to a site that has offers a lot of game selection, you might go to Party.
Right.
If you want to go to a site that has the best tournaments around, you'd go to PokerStars. If you want to go play with the pros, you'd go to Full Tilt.
Right,
If
right.
you want to go to play with celebrities, you'd go to Hollywood Poker.
If you want to
And
qualify
so-
for a great free roll, you go to Poker Blue.
Okay.
King
Sure.
10 of diamonds against Ace Queen of diamonds. Barry had raised here. Flop comes Jack 8-6, couple clubs. And he's going to continue to bet. Brian actually has the best hand there in C5. Looks like he's going to take it down.
I got one of those.
No, I know
What
what
could
you
a new
mean.
site
It's,
offer?
yeah, it's just tough.
That's not already out there.
Yeah. Very, very difficult.
That was my last two hands.
I always wonder what the deal that Full Tilt has with those pros. Like, do they pay them to play on the site? Is it some sort of...
Well,
Are they using their own money? Or do they get an allowance to play on the site? So they get to keep the winnings? Well, whatever
I'm
it is,
sure
I'm
they
sure.
get something good.
Yeah, yeah.
I could speculate on it, but I'm not even
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah, PokerStars really has overcome Party in terms of tournaments, haven't they?
Oh,
It seemed
yeah.
like there's just more people and better
Well,
tournaments in
PokerStars,
general.
I mean, has always been in the forefront of tournaments. They're the first one that offered multi-table tournaments. Party might have had, the sit and goes and all that stuff going,
Right.
but PokerStars was the first one with multi-table tournaments.
All the way to the river. This guy literally says to me something like that.
And here we go here. It's like six-way action, limped around. Ace 8-8. A couple people have ace rag. Barry and Justin. And Barry's going to bet here with the ace 9. Bets 35, about the size of the pot. Let's see how tight Justin really is here. Justin mucks the ace 7. And it looks like Barry takes it down.
One.
Well, it's funny, the button now moves to seat 6. So Justin was in the cutoff with ace 7. Again, I'll throw this out. If he's going to play ace 7 offsuit, what exactly is he looking for? If he's just going to fold to Barry
When
and
he
bets.
hits the top
yeah.
pair.
Just something
And
to
he's
throw
in
out
position.
there. Yeah. Because Barry can make that bet. I mean, Barry, he'll bluff at you. I mean, I'm not saying it was wrong to just not get involved. I'm just saying it's interesting that he played ace 7.
Yeah, then why even play it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Brian's got pocket jacks in seat 5. And he's going to make it 20 to go. And he's going to take it down there. Doesn't seem like he's getting paid off on a lot of his pre-flop raises.
One jack off though.
What's the flop?
Nothing.
It's like James Woods has temporarily gotten up from the table. Getting up to take a phone call, and now he's sitting back down. Oh, there's a shot at Eric. A little too close for my comfort. No, just kidding. And Irwin is once again going to straddle over there in seat 2. Justin is going to limp in here with 10-9 offsuit. So it's $10 to call because Irwin has straddled in seat 2. Bobby calls. Eric calls. And it looks like we're going to see a family pot here, folks.
I was going to take one back. That's how eager you are.
7-way action?
That was a string ball on my card. Go ahead, put 100 in.
That's what it looks like.
I'll do it again, do you? I wish you get my cards back.
Come on, OCD, do it.
Yeah, 7-way action.
Oh, you folded. All right, I don't feel so bad.
So we have got a $70 pot, excuse me. Deuce 8-4, couple of diamonds.
I actually wasn't too far off.
Bobby's flop top pair in seat 7. Really isn't a big flop for anyone. Eric's got middle pair. No one has diamonds.
What the hell?
Bobby's gonna bet. Bet's about the size of the pot, $75 with top pair.
He got queens.
No,
That's
he
what
had,
we call
he
it
had,
kings.
I thought you were. No, you had ace 4, right? You have ace 4, right? Look at me.
Action's over to Barry. He's got a
Look at me.
gut shot
Look
wheel
at me, I
draw.
can read you.
Couple diamonds up there. I'd be surprised to see if he makes this call. If he does call, his ace is good.
Because I have king 4, so I can mark.
You got king 4 too?
Look at that dynamite hand. And I'm laying up something.
And he shows his hand to Eric, and he throws it away.
That's why. My women are like that.
Francois, he mucks. Irwin mucks.
I've got an open end,
And
nothing.
Bobby's going to take it down there. Top pair. Boy, you wouldn't think that 8-9 of spades would win that hand by just hitting top pair. A 7-way limped pot, but there's just nothing out there. And he takes it down.
You would have made 2 pairs. Me too, huh?
You would have got me.
That isn't working too well.
I ain't even picked off yet.
You would have gotten me.
There's a flush.
Looks like pocket queens over there for Barry Woods. Ace king for Kyle in seat 3. Boy, Kyle hasn't really played at all tonight. Let's see what Barry does with the queens. Is he going to put a re-raise in here on the button? Well, if this guy calls, he probably is going to raise now. Eric's called with a 5-8 of clubs. Action's over to Barry Woods. And he's going to re-raise. Looks like he's going to make it 80. Looks like 80.
I can feel love between you two.
I'm calling for a reason because I was going, no.
And again, we really haven't seen Kyle play at all tonight.
No. Is that right?
Well, and Kyle is so short chipped here. It looks like he only has maybe 150 left. Well, maybe 200. Let's see what he does here. Some people might even push here. Actually, I'm getting word that he actually has more like 250 because he has those little brown chips are $10 chips.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he's going to make the call.
I'm rooting for you.
And Eric is out of there. So we're heads up here. Ace, king against pocket queens. Jack, deuce, 10, all spades. Neither player has a spade. Kyle has checked. Barry bets. Kyle folds. Now look at that situation there, Shirley. If I were Kyle, and we were talking about this earlier in the day, with the ace-king there, and if I was willing to commit all my chips if an ace or a king hit the flop, I'd check it and let Barry do the betting, as opposed to leading out. One of those rare cases where
If an ace or a king
yeah,
had flop.
if an ace or king had
Yeah, I
flopped, because Barry would have bet probably automatically. And if I've got 120 left, the pot's like, if I've got 150 left in the pot, say 170. Now Barry bets 100 or 150. He's pretty much committed all my chips, or committed himself whatever left I have, even if it's maybe $50. He's gonna make the extra call with pocket queens. So.
Here, use my money back.
No, I'm fine. I'm trying not to eat, so I can look like you. Thank you, though.
You gonna look like me?
I
No, he's never going to be that off.
Just one of those rare cases where if you're going to pretty much commit, say, half your stack with ace-king, where you know you're going all in if you hit any piece of it, why not check it to the better?
If you hit a piece of it.
Yeah.
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 Easy now. No jackpot for it.
Another one?
Another jackpot.
Pocket nines.
Yeah, pocket
For
nines
Bobby,
here
he
for
just calls.
Hey, they're gonna.
Bobby.
Let's hit one. One time.
Barry calls with ace-4 of spades.
Look at this.
Now, did Bobby raise here?
Bobby called a race.
Seat 5 is the raiser. Ah. Seat 5, Brian is the raiser with deuce 5 of hearts. Looked like he raised it to maybe 60? He raised it to 60? Oh, 45. Okay. And look at all the callers here. We've got a $225 pot. Ace 10-8, couple of clubs. He raised it to 45 under the gun with deuce 5 of hearts.
What else?
It's a strange play.
Check to Barry.
I will bet 125.
Barry's going to bet with the ace.
You can tell him C5.
That's
I
100.
just don't like counting out the chips. Like, you just stick in
That's only that's under half of the size of the pot, and everyone mucks.
All in.
Wow.
Show us an ace, please.
And again, I don't know why you would make that type of raise under the gun, and so big as well.
Well, nobody's going to put you on that hand, that's for sure.
I guess so. I guess you can't like it when 5 people call. Out of position.
Oh, that's another ace. I'm just gonna call.
That was atrocious.
King 4 is a good hand suited.
Yes, it is.
He's got 3 overcuts.
I wouldn't even wait. Which one?
3 overcuts.
The one before?
I can't call it out.
Button is in seat 3.
That's what you want to say.
That's a small
Yeah,
Johnson.
you probably had a better chance going on his
I know how to use
Yeah,
it.
that was thinking about it.
Pocket jacks again for C5.
I didn't need that explanation, thank you.
You know how to do it. Last time I raised,
Much better than the
everybody
deuce 5 he just had.
Well, he's had like pocket jacks maybe 4 or 5 times, and every single time he has, he raises it and he doesn't get anybody to call. And this time he's in the big blind, and he's going to raise out of the blind.
Nice.
45 more.
Now here, we haven't been able to figure out Irwin's moves. He makes the call. I was going to say, you know, in that case, he doesn't have many chips. He shouldn't be making the call.
No, either that, or I guess you could say he might push and hope the guy's
Hope,
over cards,
right.
but yeah, he obviously doesn't have that. Look at this, a jack comes right off here, ace queen jack.
And Brian wishes Irwin had a piece of that board, but he doesn't.
That's a great, that's a great board for him.
Yes.
It really is. It's a $45 bet here. And Irwin quickly mucks. Looks like we got a newbie poster on 2+2. UK poker player. He says, "Who is this idiot bloke doing the commentating? He doesn't half love himself. He sounds like a right geek." Well, thank you very much for those warm words.
Yeah. Nice you take it all in stride.
we always encourage questions, comments, suggestions, criticisms. What I was going to say, though, is that I've seen you get criticized, too, and you don't take the personal ones that bad, but the ones with poker, sometimes it gets you on edge a little bit.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that gets me fired up.
But she could call you something else.
Yeah,
Got nothing
yeah.
to do with poker, and it won't bother you
Call
that
me
much.
a geek, that's okay.
Yeah. But UK poker player, I want to encourage you to watch the LA poker scene in the UK on Sky Satellite 227, I believe. Pot is once again limped around here, it looks like. Jack 9-8. Irwin has got top pair and a gut shot.
Again, I just told you.
Eric's got an open ender.
Okay. 3 jacks is
What do you
no
want me to
good.
do? Okay, check.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I already checked.
James has a pair and a gut shot.
Now I'm drawing that.
Turns a 10. That gives James the bottom end of the straight, but it gives Irwin the top end of the straight.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
And it's really not a strong hand to hold if you're James, I mean, with the 7. And Eric bets with ace-10. He bets $30. And it looks like Irwin just smooth called there.
Stop telling people.
Did he just smooth call with the Queen Jack over there in seat 2?
Why did they stop James from betting?
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to make a bet.
Yeah, well, he
Wow,
did.
he's gonna
Someone stopped him. He's like, oh, sorry.
He's going to make the call there with the bottom end of the straight.
I don't even know what I have.
Queen to chop. No.
And the river's a 5, third club.
That's a poker skill you should master.
See if it gets checked to Irwin and he puts in a bet here at the end. No, wow, look at this. Eric continues to bet with ace 10. He bets 40. Is Irwin ever going to put some more money in here? I don't think he... Maybe he thinks he's up against King Queen. He has Queen Jack.
Or maybe he might think he's slow played it now into the ground because
Into
the
like a
club
backdoor
came.
club. Let's see.
It's really kind of
He-
silly,
yeah, he
but
just
he
makes
just
the
makes
smooth
the
call.
call.
And let's see if he entices James to call behind him. Can James overcall here with the bottom end of the straight?
Ignorant end of the straight, so I don't have a chance, right? I mean, does somebody have the queen, at least, or a club?
This is his thinking.
$40. Should I get out of the hand?
He
Yeah,
calls.
yeah, he talks himself into making the call,
He
even
said
though he
should-
says he knows it's the wrong
He
one.
said, should I get in? Should I get out of the hand? And he said no. No, okay.
No, I think he said, I can't make this call, right? He says
He
no,
said,
and then
"Should
he
I-
put the chips in.
No, he said, should I get out of this hand? And seat 2, Irwin said no.
I thought he was talking to himself when he said, should I make this call? And he said no to himself, and he still called. But regardless, it hasn't been a great night for him.
No, he didn't. I didn't tell him nothing. No. I didn't tell him nothing. He's thinking about it. But I analyzed that.
What does that mean, he doesn't half love himself?
And he asked me, I'm like,
Well, you don't half love yourself, so you... I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sounded funny anyways.
I saw you show.
Maybe that person can elaborate a little bit.
So you whole love yourself?
I don't know. Who is the idiot bloke doing the commentating? He doesn't half love himself.
This is real money. I know.
Oh, that's a new one on me.
It's his money. Do whatever you want. After
You don't do it halfway, you do it.
You got a caller. It's better if you go raise.
I'm sure it's
All
something
out.
derogatory.
I'm not trying to tell him what to do. It's his money.
Brian here, he's got King Queen.
55.
Makes it 55 to go. And he is not going to get any play. Takes down, looks like one limper in the blinds. So tomorrow night, for all you new viewers, we do our Whale Night game, which is normally a $5,100 no-limit hold'em game, restricted buy-in.
Right, $5,000 bind.
And the thing about this game is I like this game better because it gives you more chips to work with in the beginning. In that game, it's a $5,000 buy-in, so you only get 50 times your big blind at first.
And this game you have 100.
Yeah, you can rebuy the second time for 5,000, and then it escalates.
Mhm.
If you go broke a third time, it's 10,000, and then each subsequent time after that, it's 20,000.
Right.
We usually see some pretty big hitters on the show. Sometimes they'll do 3 or 6 or 400, 800 limit hold'em. It's all up to what Yosh, the host of the game, wants to do.
You wanted to
What was that? I'm sorry, what was the card?
Eight of hearts.
I'll play with James. He didn't pick out any call. You automatically win.
And
Try to make it a week.
looks like we're going to see a flop here. I think Justin brought this one in for a little bit of a raise. Oh, Justin's hit top pair. James Woods has got an open-ended straight flush draw. Justin immediately bets 15, and James calls. He's got 5-7 of diamonds, 6-4 jack, couple diamonds on board. The turn is 6. Justin bets 20. James just calls. Well, his hand might have been pretty, big to make a raise here. And the river's a queen, and Justin's made queens up now.
25?
He bets 25.
Justin sounds like he's asking a question.
And James
25?
turns over the 5-7 of diamonds. It's almost a case there, Shirley, because we've seen Justin play so tight all night long that if you pop him on the turn or on the flop, he might go away. It looked like he about had $170. The guy hasn't been playing any hands.
Yeah, but we saw him re-raise seat 1 with Jack 4 kicker. It was top pair, but it was 4 kicker.
Well, that was a
I don't
pot
think
that
he
was-
was going away from this hand.
That was a
James
pot
put
that
raise
was
in.
limped around, and it was against Barry. If James moves the guy all in here on the turn, I don't know if he calls there with Queen Jack. And James had an extremely powerful hand. And we're going to look at another chip count.
Brian's still here.
trucking along
1,050. Yeah,
there.
Francois doing really well too.
Yeah, he's catching back up.
And James was
is,
down to 350.
yeah.
Kyle bringing up the rear.
And Irwin's still kicking around.
Treading water.
50.
Irwin's going to make it 50 to go with pocket kings. Now look at Barry Woods. He's got ace-queen offsuit. And James Woods has made the call with ace-6 of diamonds. And Barry immediately calls. I was going to say, if you're Barry out of position, do you make this call?
Well, against Irwin, has Irwin showed his garbage that
I don't
he's
think
had?
he has.
And then earlier, remember I was referring to what?
James has got a pair and the nut flush draw.
Yeah.
3-8-6. It's a $150 pot here. And Irwin's going to move all in. He's not going to screw around with it. James quickly calls with the ace-6 of diamonds. Barry's out of there. James has a lot of outs here. Ace-6 or a diamond. Turns a diamond. There it is.
That's it.
There it is.
You
That's
can't
it.
win, yeah.
River's a queen.
So I was saying earlier, Irwin did some huge raise like that with 8-9 of spades, and I said I liked it, but I didn't like the huge raise because he probably wouldn't be doing that with kings. He did make a big raise here.
Yep.
Kings are something on the table.
Oh. What you had? Are you in trouble? No. Yeah. I am now.
Well, I know that Barry is always a student of his own game there, and that can went a little bit too quick. The ace-queen offsuit, for such a big raise. I don't necessarily know if I would.
I'm not sure
if
if
I'd
I
make
like
that call
that,
out of position.
Right.
Look at that, James Woods getting an autograph there.
Well, then again, you're against seat 2.
Well, Irwin's been doing a lot of calling with some inferior hands. I don't think he's necessarily shown a lot of pre-flop strength. And I was going to say, boy, it's kind of a big pre-flop raise, but if you're going to have people call you with ace-6 of diamonds, ace-queen offsuit from early position, why not, right?
Why not stick him in there,
yeah.
right?
Raise for value.
And the other thing that you brought up is that he's been not been doing a lot of betting, and the garbage hands that he's been playing, I don't think the table really knows that he's playing so bad, Right? He hasn't really shown many hands down, I don't think.
Well, he's going to straddle here again, and he's picked up pocket 7s in the straddle spot. Got a couple of limpers, and he's going to try to pick it up, and he does. I think he made it 75 more to go. Picks it up with pocket 7s.
Stop it.
Seems like there's an earthquake going on
It's
back
just
there.
a bad beat. Relax.
I was trying to play cards here.
Got too excited after the flop. Those are both in.
Pocket kings for Barry Woods on the button. Seat number 9.
Nobody straddled on me.
Looks like there's an early position limper.
Right. He limped. James limped.
35.
Kyle limped there.
Right.
Under the gun, and James also limped. Kyle mucks the queen jack. James is going to call with a suited connector. 7-8 of hearts. Here we go, heads up. Oh, 3-4-6. 7-8 has a gut shot.
To you, senor.
James checks. Barry bets 25 here. Wow, and James does not get involved. Sometimes you kind of see that Barry likes to play that kind of reverse weak bet move, where he'll make a bet that smells like he's betting weak, like maybe with a couple of overcards, but he'll actually have the goods.
Right.
So there you go.
Put him all in. I think that was what he said. It was either deal me in or I'm all in. I'm not sure which.
And looks like we got a couple people who have walked from the table. Got about a half an hour left on the show.
James, whenever you're ready.
25.
Six girlfriends calling.
No, I was thinking over. I was sad.
Seat 7's going to raise here, pocket 8s. And looks like Francois is in there on the button. Again, having trouble getting his cards. Looks like it might be pocket 9s or 9-10 offsuit.
I think it's pocket 9, seat 1. Pocket 8s, 5-6.
Bobby throws a bet in there. Not a great flop for pocket eights, ace, queen, 10. But
No.
scary enough to get Francois out of there. And he takes it down. See, like, if this guy, who's also a new poster, I think his name was FSLEXC Duck, said, I've refrained from making my comments about Bart's lack of any poker sense whatsoever, like his inability to read the board. If I inserted Shirley's name in there, you would be really upset.
Oh, I'd be flipping out right now.
Yeah. Whereas me, I guess I was just made fun of a lot as a little kid. I just take it in stride.
You know how to handle it.
Well, when you're doing commentary, my God, that's why I was trying to get sometimes you to loosen up and not take it so seriously. You open yourself up to comments from other people, and sometimes you just gotta, take it in stride, even if it is for poker related. She's looking at me like she's gonna kill me.
No, I'm looking at you like it's crazy.
These guys are, they're checking it down here. Ace 3 against ace king. I think it's just the blinds. Is it the blinds? I think they both think they have jackpots hands. Yeah, they checked it down because they thought, is there a way that ace king could have a jackpot with ace 3? I don't know if that's possible.
No,
obviously, they didn't know each other. Yeah,
because the 3-3-3 would have to hit quads, and then ace king couldn't make anything.
Right. Exactly. And the ace king couldn't have quads because the guy has an ace in his hand.
Right. Well,
I thought you had the pair. I thought you had like 10 somehow. I had the ace.
Thank you, Donnie.
So you don't think you can take it in stride?
I do my best to take it in stride, but I don't like coming across. I don't like when my mouth goes faster than my head.
Are you saying my mouth goes faster than my head?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, when I do, like when I did that one with the gap, the
not
gapper.
the gap thing.
Well, that one's the most. That's the biggest stupid thing that I've ever said. My mouth just starts going, even though I know that it's one way and I'm saying another way, and then I get mad at myself because then I don't sound like I know what I'm talking about, and
I don't want a man.
I think that a lot of people
sounding like an idiot.
I think, and again, mostly some of the criticism that comes is from first-time people to the show is because, they haven't been watching the show for a long time. They don't necessarily realize that it's all live.
Right.
And some of those new people
we're
can
bound
actually
to make a mistake here.
Well, yeah, some of those new people can actually talk to some of the 2+2ers that have come here into the booth and look at our setup and look at kind of the complex multitasking
that we
have to do
right.
to go through the show every time. And I think a lot of people don't realize that all of the other poker shows, the commentary with the soundtracks are done after the fact.
Mm-hmm. And they get nice little scripts, and they get double takes,
well,
triple takes,
They get scripts. It's not, a lot of times it's not necessarily their own analysis. I mean, I know Kenna James says that he doesn't say anything on his own during the GSN thing.
Yeah.
Everything is totally scripted out for him.
And Kenneth James, when he does the show in here, he comes up with the best stuff off the top of his head. Why would you limit him?
Why would you want to script Kenneth James? It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. Again, pocket kings.
Yep. This time it's Irwin. Well, this time, again, it's Irwin.
Yeah.
And he raises it to 75 this time. Oh, well, he's all in here.
No! You want me to raise it? Call, and then you wait till the flop.
So he's going to move all in.
And I don't think he's getting a caller here.
No, it doesn't look like it. Barry, he's out of there. There you go. Yeah, I haven't really figured Irwin out here. I mean, sometimes it's difficult to figure out some people's styles, but his is kind of all over the place, unorthodox, which sometimes can be dangerous if you've got a guy with a huge chip stack. I mean, look at
if you have
Jesus,
a lot of money.
Patrick, some of the bigger guys on our No Limit games.
Right.
I think Seat 5 is having James Woods take a cell phone picture of himself with Seat 5's cell phone. That's a first.
Take a picture of yourself, please.
Ooh, a lot of aces out in this hand. Seat 3's got an ace queen. Kyle, he's going to raise it up.
What is that?
35.
He makes it 35 to go.
Little donation for you.
And Button's going to call ace-9 of spades. 3 of the aces are dead. There's 1 ace left. And we're going to go heads up here. Ace-queen against ace-9. And Brian on the button has position here, seat 5.
But he does have the weaker hand.
Yes, he does. But now he's got a spade draw. 8-6-3, a couple spades.
What did I miss? Anything good?
Nothing good yet.
Now this is the time here. Now if Kyle bets, now he can't beat ace with a higher kicker, ace-9. Not right now. So
That Brian can't?
would you want to put in a raise at some point here? Now he's going to raise a little bit. Oh no, he just smooth calls. Wow.
I would put in a raise, but
Yeah.
2 overs and a
Yeah.
spade draw, yes.
Turns a 5. Because I'm going to say if he just calls all the way down, he's going to lose.
Well, he
'Cause-
doesn't know that, though.
Well,
He might think his ace-high's good, but you still put in a raise. You don't...
and Kyle has checked the turn
Go
here.
ahead, check it out.
And look, you see, ace-9 checks.
Wow.
He checks behind him, surely.
Yeah.
And he backs into a pair here on the end, so he's got the best hand. But I think that they would have just checked it down, and he would have allowed ace-queen to win that hand. I mean, with such a big draw, when you've got ace-9,
Right.
your hand isn't good right now if the guy's got an ace with a
Right.
bigger kicker. So
The ace-queen had raised pre-flop. You
Yeah.
know, 8-6-3, you have a suited ace. I mean, that's the kind of board you're looking to hit.
absolutely.
You're playing suited cards to go up against, cards you might be nominated against, like he is, not necessarily ace-queen, but, something like kings or something, hit your flush.
Yeah.
You bet.
You want to in or you want to raise?
One in?
Well, yeah, I want in.
Let's see where you are.
$10? Oh, thanks. Oh, gotcha. Good, thank you. All right. It's time to start turning this game around.
We got a few minutes left. Here we go. I don't even know if
Francois is going to make it 30 to go here. Looks like he's in second position. Ace-queen.
You must have a good one.
I don't think he's going to get any callers. So yeah, again, I mean, if we're talking about a lot of new people watching the show, learning about the show through Card Player, if you're around tomorrow, stay tuned. We're doing our big whale game, which usually features the likes of Hassan Habib, Tuan Lee, Tim Fan, Yoshi Nakano. If people are familiar with him, he's played in some tournaments. He's a
And then
high-level
name some of
cash
the other
player.
players that we've had. We've had Gabe Kaplan, Jerry
Yeah.
Buss, Frank Mariani.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this is the type of stuff that's
Ted
never been done
Forrest
before at
and
these
David
levels.
Oppenheim.
Huge
We've had
amounts
some
of
big
cash
names.
games with hole cards. And it's very interesting to see because I always say that it's kind of a strange game, and I've talked to the Poker Blue people about it, and Yosh, and this is the game that they want to put down for now, because a lot of the people that play in the game don't have that much experience with it. I mean, it's restricted by a no-limit hold'em. That game's usually only played at a low level, right?
Right.
So it's kind of interesting to see. Seed 8 here is going to raise with ace-queen. 30. Looks like he's in the blind. Small blind here. Yeah. And he's going to take it down.
looks like a little girl.
Turns the ace-queen over.
Way too tight.
Nobody calls $30 raise.
Well, I had nothing. What do you want me to call it? I call it Jack 10, 10, 9. I call it. That's a computer hand.
He said, you're kidding.
So the button has moved over to Eric with an H. And then, of course, watch Friday night's game. I mean, as a viewer, I will actually enjoy Friday night's game if it plays well better than Wednesday's because it's unrestricted, no limit.
Right.
And we've seen $20,000, $25,000 pots. We
Yeah.
can see that in 5100 no limit too, but it's just a little bit more contrived when you think of the amount of restriction in the game.
Right.
Here we go, four-way action.
Mr. Woods, I'm going to leave it.
8, 6, 3, a couple of diamonds. James in seat 6. James Woods has got a flush draw. He's going to bet.
100.
He bets 100. Now, Barry's got a weak ace. Is he going to get involved here?
Making my flush draw expensive.
Is he going to get involved? Now we can see that no one else is probably gonna be in here. I don't know if Francois is Francois in the hand there. We have his cards up. He is okay. Well, no, we do have his cards. He's not gonna. I'm sure he's not gonna call.
Play, I play, yes. Got 300 behind there, 300 left, roughly.
Well, Barry's looking at James's stack. The issue now is, do you want to get involved with this?
Mm-hmm.
I think the pot is relatively small.
How much was it pre-flop?
I
How
think
much
it was
did Barry
linked
call?
around pre-flop, wasn't
Well,
it?
look at the chips here, Bart. So it's more than a limp. It was
Oh,
a
it was
straddle.
a straddle call. Okay. Look at this. Barry's gonna.
He makes the call.
Makes the call. Oh, and look at this. James thought he check raised him all in, and James went to muck his hand. Boy, is that a big tell. And the diamond comes on the turn. And Barry's got a gut shot straight flush wheel draw. And James moves all in.
moves all in.
That's incredible. And Barry calls. He calls with the 4 diamonds.
he didn't.
He did. He did call with the ace 4. With the pair and the 4 diamonds.
did.
And the river's a 6. And that's an incredible hand. James Woods thought Barry check raised him all in on the turn. James Woods went to muck his hand, and Barry's like, I just called. The turn came diamond. James Woods moved all in on the turn, and Barry called with the ace and the 4 diamonds. Wow. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. So James gets a little bit more. Creeps back. Yeah, that was a very, I actually, you know what? I like the move. Well, I would have liked the move better. I would have liked the check raise on the flop as opposed to the call. Now calling on the turn.
Well, I don't mind the call if you think he has a flush draw and you get away from it on the turn. You don't want to get too invested.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. If you think that James, if you push all in, James is going to call with a flush draw. It's not so bad. But calling
the turn.
Calling
you're
the
saying.
turn.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he just looked down and said, I got the 4 diamonds, so I have eyes. I mean, he did have top pair as well, but at that point, that 4 really means nothing. You know? Pocket aces, I think, brought this one in for 30. Kyle. So Kyle in seat 3 has got pocket aces. Queen, 6-3. Kyle has an overpair. And is Francois going to get in trouble here? He's got Queen Jack.
45.
45 all in.
And Kyle actually only has 45, and he's going to move all in here.
Good luck, all in.
That's all he has. And if it's only 45, with the pot that big, you wonder if Francois is going to call here with the Queen Jack in seat 1. And I think he does make the call. So we got Queen Jack against aces.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
The turn is the deuce.
No.
And the river is a diamond. Oh, Francois does not have a diamond in his hand. So aces are good. 2 running diamonds come on the turn and on the river. Kyle has the ace of diamonds. He made the nut flush. So regardless, Kyle would have won it there.
Right.
Let the punishment begin.
I'm still amazed at that last hand.
Yeah, with the ace 4,
Yeah.
right? It's still in shock.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You know,
we've seen
if you-
Barry make some huge calls that
Which
are sometimes just baffling.
He made
You
the
know?
right call. I mean, he made the right read. If he thinks his ace high is good, okay, you make the call. But on that turn, when James goes to stick out all that money, I mean, what can you beat in that spot?
Well, yeah, and
I
the
just-
thing is that he just called just without even
Instantly.
thinking.
That's why I didn't think that he did. That's why I was
Without
like,
even
no,
thinking.
no.
Without even thinking. And maybe it had something to do with the fact that James was going to fold his hand to a check raise on the
Yeah,
flop.
probably.
You know?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that was kind of strange. Gotta tell you. I mean, maybe he just thought that James had a high diamond at that point, was just putting a semi-bluff in on the turn. But
Yeah, who knows what he was thinking.
yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, I mean, he got involved in it. Was just a straddle pot. That was,
Well, Kyle has checked top pair here, and Brian bet it in position And Kyle's going to check raise with the king jack. And he takes it down.
All right, Kyle. You got a king? You got something else?
Oh, he makes the call. Wow, the turn's a 7. He made the call with queen 10.
How much is it?
What?
You're gonna bet.
Unbelievable. Sometimes we just look away and it's like, there's no way this guy can call,
right.
right?
Right. Oh, he's got to be done with it.
Now
And
he's
then we
done
turn
with
back.
it.
What?
Yeah. Wow.
How do you like Russ's post on 2+2? You got to love that one, huh?
Well, see, now you're commenting on it because he included your name in it.
But I think it's funny because I know he's kidding. He says, as the only regular Live at the Bike 2+2 viewer has been in the booth, he can confirm that Bart and Shirley do absolutely nothing in the booth except read this thread. In fact, Isaac and Evelyn do all the work.
Well, boy,
Thank you.
guess that's the exact opposite of real life. Yeah, it looks like seed 8. It's an interesting. He's got some. It looks like he's got some Chicago White Sox rings on, and they're obviously not World Series rings
seed
because
is
the
this?
White Sox haven't won a World Series since 1917.
What seed is this?
Seed 8.
Okay.
Yeah. But so Francois made a raise here, and the button is called. We can see neither player's hands. The flop comes deuce, deuce, 3. Like Francois, he just won't show his hand. Queen Jack against King Queen. And it gets checked, and the turn's a queen, and they've agreed to check it down. And Queen Jack makes a running 2 pair. Irwin had King Queen, deuce 3-3, Queen Jack.
It took me a while ago, punk.
These guys are just jokers, aren't they?
Agree to check it down. If Irwin didn't have any money left, that's why they didn't make any more bets.
They were all in there?
Yeah.
A while ago.
Well, couldn't hear any announcement there from the table.
If I get Queen Jack twice in a row, I'm raising that shit.
Blinds, please.
Am I going?
Yes.
Give me a lucky tip.
Wow, what a bad beat there. You catch the queen on the turn, you get King Queen, and the guy catches a jack on the river.
Right. White Sox really haven't won since that
Yeah, it's
long.
been a long time for Chicago.
You
Very long time.
live with King Queen punk?
I'll pick you up with Queen Jack.
Oh, that's not for the camera. Drop. Yeah, that's not for the camera.
$30 raise here on the button, Queen Jack of Spades.
Here, take it back. What time does the Live at the Bike end?
And James Woods is going to call with ace deuce offsuit out of position. Flop comes 8-4-4. Check, check. Turn is an 8, and now James has got, he's got the ace. I don't think he's going to get away from it now. And the river's
No, but
king.
he should have put a bet in there.
What do I have? I don't remember.
2 fours.
I check.
An ace is good.
Ace is good.
Ace is good. There you go.
Ace is good.
I promise you ahead of time.
All right.
I have uncanny instincts about the future. It's almost shocking.
I'd be embarrassed if I were you.
I am embarrassed.
And I'd return the money.
I am embarrassed. I'm not going to return the money because
Yeah, so we call tomorrow night's game the Whale Night because we have a combination of
Professionals and
professionals and whales. Which, terminology for whale is someone with a lot of money that
right.
plays it.
Not necessarily mean the sucker or a fish.
No, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that at all.
oh, look at this hand. Wow. Sorry. You know what? It's not worth the $5. Honestly,
It's okay. But you still have to put it on.
I gotta tell you, if I was making that type of money, I'd rather be a whale than a professional poker player. Obviously, the life of a professional poker player is very volatile.
Yes.
At those stakes. If I was making money from an auxiliary job that I could
Like
play
Callaway
in a
Golf or
400 to
Kookaroo
800
Chicken.
game. Yeah, pocket queens here for Eric. He
Shut
raised.
up, man.
Looks like
It's only
30.
$80. What are you talking about? Huh? Queen Jack. He's tagging you in that? You're runner again? You're runner, man. Runner.
And we got a call there by Irwin with King Deuce of Spades. Brian's in there. James Woods is in there. So $120 pot going to the flop.
I hope I don't flop a royal.
King 8-4. James has hit top pair, and so has Irwin.
2 clubs up there?
Let's see what Eric does with. James is going to bet immediately with the king. Right into the razor, I believe.
I can't wait for that.
And Eric has a few people behind him.
Can't wait for that jackpot to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you don't get many good starting hands like queens, but you also, I mean, come on, it's easy lay down here. You can't fall in love with it, right?
Yeah, and James actually hasn't been betting out without top pair, from what we've noticed. Again, you don't know if the table's privy to that, but trying to see where he's at. Looks like he's bet 100.
This is the Joker deck. Mexican poker deck.
$100, two people act behind you.
Yeah.
Pretty easy fold.
Again, you know, I say that one of the worst things I think you can do here is call. It's just a tough spot. You just don't know what people are going to do behind you.
He did, yeah. Going all in with
I mean, are you going to call hoping the queens are good, allowing people with club draws behind you? And this is because there's two people behind you.
the way you're playing, you would have called with your queen. Somewhat. I raised 100. You put me on the bluff. You put all in. You got lucky. What are you talking about? You're all playing this hand.
Better hand one.
Okay. I'll shut up.
Remember what I was telling you earlier about?
Looks like he's going to get away from it, Shirley.
Yeah, it's taken him a while to do it, but
He shows it, and he mucks it. And look at that, Irwin immediately gets away from King Deuce.
he did one thing tonight that makes sense.
Shows the king.
Yeah, outplayed me. I played it wrong. You know, actually, I've just raised the flop. Raised 3 flop, he raised smooth call, muck on the flop, but it's okay. It's my fault.
So Eric makes a good laydown. I mean, he's in a tough spot there, but obviously it's a lot easier to lay down queens when there's no requirement for it.
And when there's two people to act behind you.
I didn't want to see you go run a runner or phone me or, you know. I mean,
That was funny.
So for us, McGinley said Shirley knows nothing about poker. You wouldn't get bothered by that because you know he's probably kidding.
I would know he was kidding.
What?
You're not that
I'm just saying I'm better than you. I'm just always shove queens all in pre-flop.
Of course, we're talking about a live thread that's on the internet. You go to 2plus2.com, click on forums, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments.
Every time queens all in, trust me. You're gonna lose.
Official live the bike thread for October 4th.
Queens are suckers.
Barry's going to bring this one in for a quarter. He's got
For
ace-5 of diamonds.
25 with ace 5.
Queens are too low. Kings are
And Irwin calls with ace-queen. And look at that, Bobby's got ace-jack, so we've got 3 aces out there. Let's see if an
And the
ace
only
hits.
3 players in the hand.
Yeah. Jack 6-4. Barry's got the nut flush draw, and Bobby has top pair. And it looks like Bobby bet immediately. And Barry calls with the ace-5 of diamonds. So we got about a $210 pot here to the turn. The turn is a 4. And Bobby's going to move all in here.
Right.
He's not going to let Barry draw out. He's going to move all in. It was $210 before that move. So now Barry has about $250, I want to say. So basically, it would be about a $460 pot, $250 for Barry to call. That's about the approximate. So he's getting maybe 2-1 if he's lucky with one card to come, and he's not getting the price. And he lays it down.
Those ace racks have been a lot of trouble for him today.
Well, that's actually the type of flop that you're looking for.
Yes, it
you
is.
know, but unfortunately, it looks like Bobby's a good enough player where he's gonna not let you get there.
Right.
Not let you get there. Lots of garbage out here this hand, it looks like.
I might fold aces to last. It's the same hand I had last time. Isn't it the same hand I had last time?
Open to somebody being gracious enough not to raise. That's okay.
35 total.
Bobby's going to raise here. He's got ace-queen this time. Ace-queen is spades. He makes it 30 to go.
I said 35, didn't I? 35.
35.
I had lamb kebabs and 2 of those tomatoes.
3 players.
2 callers, 3-way action. Pretty good flop for ace-queen.
75.
Queen 4 deuce, and he bets 75.
And it looks like he just plays a pretty straightforward game.
Ooh, and Irwin calls. Wow.
Are you surprised, Bob?
Pot is now $250.
He's still surprising you tonight.
Oh, and the turn is an 8. He spikes a set on the turn.
Oh, man.
And he's all in. And Bobby is in there with
That's
ace
sick.
queen. And the river's a 7. Oh, my. 2 outer. 2 outer on the turn.
Bobby, there's nothing you could have done about that.
Wow.
If that makes you feel any better.
Jeez.
You got it right there.
Bad beats don't just happen on the internet.
Freaking no-brainer.
Unbelievable.
If he bet 75,
He just sits there and laughs.
He bet 75.
Haha. I caught my 8.
I guess he was kind of short chip, so maybe he just thought he had the best hand and he was going to go with it. I mean, I don't know. Can't. Sometimes I can't describe them.
I'm okay.
Incredible.
I'm waiting for my drink so I can get drunk. Yeah, she can play. Because if I don't get drunk, I'm not playing any hand. I won with this hand. First time I ever played.
And the button now is in seat 7. James Woods, he's going to raise it up to 15. He's got ace-7 offsuit. And we got three-way action. $45 pot, queen 8-7. Everyone kind of got a piece of it. Jack 9's got a gut shot, 8-10's got a pair. James has a pair. James Wood says he's going to donate 15 to the pot. He bets about a third of the size of the pot. And both players call. Jack 9 and 8-10 both call. The turn is an ace, and now James has made aces up. Pot is now $90, and he's going to bet 100 into a $90 pot. And he keeps saying, "I'm just donating into the pot."
Yeah, show us a hand. That's a winning hand.
You tell the camera you donated the money.
I'm donating the money. Yeah, I'm all in. You all in?
Yeah.
Me too.
You gotta show your card.
This time I'll show because I said I would. Okay?
And he shows it. He shows the ace-7. Seems like a fun guy, too.
Lines, please.
I don't know why it's happening.
Live straddle.
We need to get him a nut.
What's that?
We need to get him a
Yeah, unfortunately, when he turns away from the table, our table mic can't pick up what he's saying. Maybe we can get that fixed on our remote camera.
Me too. Sorry.
Well, you know that by the way,
He concurs.
I concur to that.
And here's a subtle post by Russ McGinley, too. When someone was asking about the Barry Woods versus James Woods hand, he says, "I'm not saying anything." And people who really know the show and really know the thread know what that means. Again, those guys kind of went back and forth on the thread on Monday. Barry kind of called Russ out a little bit.
Yeah, but Russ acknowledged that Barry's a good player.
Well, I think he was saying that just to kind of. Hey, Russ can talk for himself. Queen 5 Jack here on the flop. Two people have hit top pair, and it looks like.
All in.
Oh, Barry's going to move all in here with the Queen 9. He's going to check raise all
He's
in.
not having a good night tonight.
And Irwin has got King Queen, and he's in a better shape here. Turns an ace. And the river is a 10.
Gives Irwin a straight. He had the best
Yeah.
hand the whole way. Doesn't make a difference.
Straight is good here.
take that damn camera off me in my hand. The problem is, his cards are too good. You gotta have craft on it. You know what your problem is?
So, Shirley, this is actually going to be the last hand of the night.
All right.
Well, you got to I mean, Barry's, he's up. He's got to be up like 40,000 from being on Live at the Bike.
On the Live at the Bike shows, yeah, he's having one night off night.
Yeah.
300 maximum. What are you talking about? 1,000. No, 500.
5 on 9.
A little something.
So last hand of the night.
Okay, we have a couple weak aces, and we do have an ace queen.
Yeah, ace queen.
That's seat 7 Bobby.
He just limps in.
He just limps
James
this
Woods
time.
limps in with ace 4.
Barry checks.
Francois has, or excuse me, Barry has ace 4 on the button. He limps in. And we've got 5-way action.
Massive $25 pot.
King 10-9. James Woods picked up the nut flush draw.
Check my flush draw. Me too.
Check.
Check my one pair.
9, 10 king. Let me see what I got.
7, 8, 9. What is that?
Oh.
15.
James bet 5. Bobby raised it to 15 with the ace queen.
15.
And we're heads up. Ace 4 against ace queen. Turns a spade, that's going to do it. And Bobby has the queen of spades, so it might get him more involved with the hand.
Bobby's been playing pretty good.
Look at this. James checks
James
and
checked.
Bobby checks right behind him. And now James.
He's way over betting the pot. He's betting $200.
Yeah. I actually don't mind that.
Oh!
And look at this. He calls. I think, did Bobby go over the top of him? Did Bobby go over the top
Bobby,
of him? Or
no,
did he
Bobby
just
said
call?
I.
And he said he misread his hand.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess.
Instantly.
Yeah, he instantly called. He misread the hand. Well, because I was saying, if he misread his hand, wouldn't he have gone over the top with ace queen of spades? If that's what he thought, I could have sworn. Well, it looks like, okay, he did. He did go over the top.
He misread
He went
his
over the
hand.
top. He said, James bet 200. Bobby went over the top, all in, thinking he had the nut flush.
Right.
And Wood said,
I call.
I got the nuts. I call. That's what I thought he said.
Right.
And that's going to do it for us
That was
tonight.
a crazy last hand.
And James, well, we're going to take a look at a chip count here, but James doubles through now, and he's upwards of about 1,500. So I got to say that he's up about 500 to 600 for the night. Brian is probably the big winner, up about 600 to 700. Francois crept back in.
Yeah, he's a winner.
And he's a slight winner. And unfortunately for Barry Woods, he's the big loser.
He's
the
not
big
had a
loser
good
for the
night.
night. So that gives you an idea of how this play went. And James Woods went from down almost, he was down like 800 at one point to being up
He had
now.
two. Yeah, he's winning now.
So look at that. Well, that's going to do it for us. What an exciting night.
That was
Again,
fun.
for everyone who's watching us for the first time, check us out every Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 Pacific time. And tomorrow night's show is going to be our whale game. Most likely 5,100 no limit hold'em. So for everyone here at the booth and for Shirley Rosario, good night, everybody,
Good night.
from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.